Oh my God, they actually flipped the coin to find out who was going to go first. Oh my God. Oh my God, bro. That's awesome. They flipped a coin. All right. Well, 64 votes in. There's no studio audience. Wow. All right, we got to end the poll in about 10 seconds here, so you get about 10 seconds now. All right, here we go. Here comes Biden. He's coming out there. He's waving. He's waving to nobody. Joe Biden came out there. They just told us there's no studio audience, and Joe Biden came out waving like there was a giant crowd. That was wicked funny. Maybe Trump will do it too. I don't know. Here comes Trump. Nope, Trump. Trump said thank you and looked in the camera. Nope, Trump's aware they're on a studio. So Trump is aware they're on a studio. Joe Biden is not. Already, I can tell you right from the beginning, that's what's going on right now. Dead serious. That is wicked funny. They're going right into the economy. All right, let's see.
Than they were under President Trump.
When I take a look at what I was left when I became president and what Mr. Trump left me, we had an economy that was in free fall. The pandemic was so badly handled. Many people were dying. All he said was,
Talking about the pandemic.
Serious, just inject a little bleach into your arm. You'll be all right. The economy collapsed.
He didn't say that.
No jobs.
That's a fact check already. He did not say that. Trump didn't say just inject a little bleach into your arm. He never said that. Joe Biden just lied.
Began to do. We created 15,000
Trump never
new
said
jobs.
just put some bleach into your arm, you'll be all right. Trump launched warp speed for the injections, which I disagree with.
There's more to be done. Working class people.
Trump never said insert bleach into you.
I come of household where the kitchen
What a
table
fucking
is
lying piece of shit, Joe Biden, you are. Wow.
The price of eggs, the price of gas, the price of housing, the price of a whole range of
He just lied.
That's why I'm working so hard to make sure I deal with those problems. And we're going to make sure that we reduce the price of housing. We're going to make sure we build.
He's out of
2
breath
million
already.
Units. We're going to make sure we cap rents so corporate greed can't take over. The combination, what I was left with in corporate greed, is the reason why we're in this problem right now. In addition to that, we're in a situation where if you take a look at all that was done in his administration,
I'm scoring this tonight.
he didn't do much at all. By the time he left, things were in chaos, literally chaos. And so we put things back together. We created, I said, those jobs. We make sure we had a situation where we now.
Joe's rushing through this,
drugs, which is a major issue for many people. To $15 for a insulin shot as opposed to $400. No senior has to pay more than $200 for any drug, all the drugs they can include beginning next year. And the situation is we're going to make that available to everybody, to all Americans. So we're working to bring down the price of around the kitchen table, and that's what we're going to get done.
What?
Thank you, President Trump.
Wow, okay.
We had the greatest economy in the history of our country. We have never done so well. Everybody was amazed by it. Other countries were copying us. We got hit with COVID, and when we did, we spent the money necessary so we wouldn't end up in the Great Depression, the likes of which we had in 1929. By the time we finished, so we did a great job. We got a lot of credit for the economy, a lot of credit for the military, and no wars. And
what's up, everybody? How you doing?
Everything was rocking good. But the thing we never got the credit for,
how's everybody doing?
What's
up, Thomas?
Out of that COVID mess. He created mandates that was a disaster for our country. But other than that, we had given them back a country where the stock market actually was higher than.
How's everybody doing?
And nobody thought that was even possible. The only jobs he created are for illegal immigrants and bounce back jobs, a bounce back from the COVID. He has not done a good job. He's done a poor job.
Listening to it right now.
Killing our country. It is absolutely killing us.
Thank you, President Biden.
Well, look, the greatest
Trump did a better job in his opening speech. I'm going to give him a point. I took a point away from Biden for lying about Trump right off the bat.
And, you know, the fact of the matter is that we find ourselves in a situation where his economy, he rewarded the wealthy. He had the largest tax cut in American history, $2 trillion. He raised a deficit larger than any president has in any one term. He's the only president other than Herbert Hoover who's lost more jobs than he had when he began, since Herbert Hoover. The idea that
That's because of COVID.
something that was significant. And the military, when he was president, they were still killing people in Afghanistan. He didn't do anything about that. When he was president, we were still found ourselves in a position where you had a notion that we were this safe country. The truth is, I'm the only president this century that doesn't have this decade, that doesn't have any troops dying anywhere in the world like he did.
What?
President Trump, I want to follow up if I can. You
to respond to him.
Well, I'm going to ask you a follow-up. You can do whatever you want with the minute that we give you. I want to follow up. You want to impose a 10% tariff on all goods coming into the U.S.
They're not going to let Trump respond to what Biden says?
It's not going to drive them higher. It's just going to cause countries that have been ripping us off for years, like China and many others, in all fairness to China. It's going to just force them to pay us a lot of money, reduce our deficit tremendously, and give
Trump
us a lot
wants
of
to
power
speak
for
so
other
bad
things.
because
But
Biden is
he made a statement.
basically
The only thing
like
he was right about is I gave you
lying
the
and saying
largest tax
assumptive
cut in
things.
history. I also gave you the largest
Very
regulation
interesting.
cut in history. That's why
Whether
we
you
had
like
all the
Trump or you
jobs.
hate
And
Biden
the
or
jobs
whatever,
went
but
down and then they
you
bounced
like
back, and
Biden?
he's taking credit for bounce back jobs. You can't do that. He also said he inherited 9% inflation. No, he inherited almost no inflation, and it stayed that way for 14 months. And then it blew up under his leadership
Interesting.
because they spent money like a bunch of people that didn't know what they were doing, and they don't know what
What's
they're
up,
doing.
everybody?
It's probably the worst administration in history. There's never been. And as far as Afghanistan is concerned, I was getting out of Afghanistan, but we were getting out with dignity, with strength, with power. He got out. It was the most embarrassing day in the history of our country's life.
We left millions and
President Trump,
millions
over
of
the
things
last
back
8 years,
there.
Under both of your administrations, the national debt soared to record highs. And according to a new
So far, they're doing a good
nonpartisan
job of
analysis, President Trump, your
keeping this to the
administration
questions, I
approved
guess.
$8.4 trillion in new debt. Well, so far, President Biden, you've approved $4.3 trillion in new debt. So, former President Trump, many of the tax cuts that you signed into law are set to expire next year. You want to extend them and go even further, you say. With the U.S. facing trillion-dollar deficits and record debt, why should top earners and corporations pay even less in taxes than they do now?
Because the tax cuts spurred the greatest economy that we've ever seen just prior to COVID. And even after COVID, it was so strong that we were able to get through COVID much better than just about any other country. But we spurred, that tax spurred. Now, when we cut the taxes,
Biden looks like he's going to pass out.
Corporate tax was cut down to 21% from 39%, plus beyond that. We took in more revenue with much less tax.
Yeah, I
And
think
companies were bringing back trillions of dollars.
I think Biden had a cocktail before
the
this.
country was
You know.
growing like never before. And we were ready
Biden
to
looks
start
so
paying down
done.
debt.
Like,
We were
bro,
ready
I'm
to start
sorry.
Using the liquid gold right under our feet, the oil and gas right under our feet. We were going to have something that nobody else has had. We got hit with COVID. We did a lot to fix it. I gave him an unbelievable situation with all of the therapeutics and all of the things that we came up with. We gave him something great. Remember, more people died under his administration, even though we had largely fixed it. More people died under his administration than our administration, and we were right in the middle of it.
That's right.
which a
Start
lot of
nailing
people
him
don't
with
like to
shit that
talk
he
about.
necessarily
We had
didn't
far
do
more
because he's
people
doing it to
dying
you.
in his administration. He did the mandate, which is a disaster, mandating it. The vaccine went out. He did a mandate on the vaccine, which is the thing that people most objected to about the vaccine. And he did a very poor job, just a very poor job. And I will tell you, not only poor there, but throughout the entire world, we're no longer respected as a country. They don't respect our leadership. They don't respect the United States anymore. We're like a third world nation between weaponization of his election, trying to go after his political opponent.
That's
all
true.
of the things he's done, we've become like a third world nation. And it's a shame. The damage he's done to our country. And I'd love to ask him, and will, why he allowed millions of people to come in here from prisons, jails, and mental institutions to come into our country and destroy our country.
President Trump, we will get to immigration later in this block. President Biden, I want to give you
Biden
an
looks
opportunity to
horrified
respond
right
about
now.
the national debt.
Wow, dude,
He
I'm
has the
sorry.
largest national debt of any president in a 4-year period, number one. Number two, he got $2
I'm giving
trillion
Trump a
tax cut
point for that.
Benefited the very wealthy. What I'm going to do is fix the tax system. For example,
Largest
we have
debt, I'm going to
1,000
give
trillion
Biden a point. for the largest debt comment because he's got some points
They're in
there.
a situation where they
Biden's at 0 now.
2% in taxes. If they just paid 24%, 25%, either one of those numbers, they'd raise $500 billion, I should say, in a 10-year period.
This is crazy.
We'd be able to wipe out his debt. We'd be able to help make sure that all those things we need to do, childcare, elder care, making sure that
Jesus
we
Christ, Biden doesn't look right.
Our healthcare system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID.
Wouldn't it be great if Biden just started yelling fuck out of nowhere? He was just like, fuck, 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 fuck. Like, and he just flipped out. Wouldn't that be great?
If we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump.
We finally beat
He
Medicare?
already did beat Medicare. He beat it to death, and he's destroying Medicare. Because all of these people are coming in. They're putting them on Medicare. They're putting them on Social Security. They're going to destroy Social Security. This man is going to single-handedly destroy Social Security. These millions
Oh
and
my
millions
God,
of
I
people
want to
coming in,
pass out.
They're trying to put them on Social Security. He will wipe out Social Security. He will wipe out Medicare. So he was right in the way he finished that sentence. And it's a shame. What's happened to our country in the last 4 years is not to be believed.
Oh,
Foreign
my
countries,
God.
I'm friends with a lot of people. They cannot believe what happened to the United States of America. We're no longer respected. They don't like us. We give them everything they want, and they think we're stupid. They think we're very stupid people. What we're doing for other countries, and they do nothing for us. What this man has done is absolutely criminal.
Thank you, President Trump. Deanna?
This is the first presidential election since the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. This morning,
was a big one.
The court ruled on yet another abortion case.
I'm going to give Trump a point for that. That was
temporarily allowing
hilarious.
Emergency abortions to continue in Idaho, despite that state's restrictive ban. Former President Trump, you take
I'm going to
credit
take the
for
negative away from
decision
Biden, give it to Trump as a
overturn
positive.
Roe v. Wade, which returned the issue of abortion to the states.
Correct.
However, the federal government still plays a role in whether or not women have access to abortion pills. They're used in about 2/3 of all abortions. As president, would you block abortion medication?
First of all, the Supreme Court just approved the abortion bill, and I agree with their decision to have done that, and I will not block it. And if you look at this whole question
Trump
that you're
supports the
asking,
abortion pill.
they're complex, but not really complex. 51 years ago, you had Roe v. Wade, and everybody wanted to get it back to the states. Everybody, without exception. Democrats, Republicans, liberals, conservatives. Everybody wanted it back. Religious leaders. And what I did is I put 3 great Supreme Court justices on the court, and they happened to vote in favor of killing Roe v. Wade and moving it back to the states. This is something that everybody wanted.
Yeah, the sound is
Now, 10
warped
years
a little
ago or
bit so we
they
don't
started
get
talking about how many weeks and how
clipped
many this, getting into
audio-wise,
other things. But
you know.
every legal
We still
scholar
might, but hopefully we
throughout the
don't.
world, the most respected, wanted it brought back to the states. I did that. Now the states are working it out. If you look at Ohio, it was a decision
Wow.
that was an end result. It was a little
Trump
bit
is,
more liberal
you
than
know,
would've
even
thought.
if you don't like
Kansas,
Trump,
I would
you
say
hate
the same
Trump,
thing.
he's really
Texas
doing
is
well right
different,
now.
Florida is different, but they're all making their own decisions right now. And right now, the states control it. That's the vote of the people. Like Ronald Reagan, I believe in the exceptions. I am a person that believes. And frankly, I think it's important to believe in the exceptions. Some people, you have to follow your heart. Some people don't believe in that. But I believe in the exceptions for rape, incest, and the life of the mother. I think it's very important. Some people don't. Follow your heart. But you have to get elected also. And because that has to do with other things. You got to get elected. The problem they have is they're radical because they will take the life of a child in the 8th month, the 9th month, and even after birth. After birth, if you look at the former governor of Virginia, he was willing to do this. He said, we'll put the baby aside and we'll determine what we do with the baby, meaning we'll kill the baby. What happened is we brought it back to the states, and the country is now coming together on this issue. It's been a great thing.
Thank you. President Biden?
It's been a terrible thing, what you've done. The fact is that the vast majority of constitutional scholars supported Roe when it was decided. Supported Roe. And that's this idea that
What the
they're
Supreme
all
Court,
against it is
what the
ridiculous.
Supreme Court has
And
done
this
is
the
not
guy who
very
says the
great.
state should be able to have it. We're a state.
What's
where
up,
in
chat?
6
Guys, hit that
weeks,
like button. What's up,
you
everybody?
no
Where the
longer
fuck,
pregnant,
everybody? What's up?
You cannot see a doctor and have him decide on what your circumstances are.
Guys, we got to click the like button,
The idea
baby.
that states are able to do this is a little like saying we're going to turn civil rights back to the states. Let each state have a different rule. Look, there's so many young women who have been, including a young woman who just was murdered, and he went to the funeral.
He's going to bring up the woman that was murdered, but there's like been 20 murders from the illegals.
They talk about that. But here's the deal. There's a lot of young women to be raped by their in-laws, by their spouses, brothers and sisters. It's just ridiculous. And they can do nothing about it. And they try to arrest them when they cross state lines.
Thank you.
There have been many young women murdered by the same people he allows to come across our border. We have a border that's the most dangerous place anywhere in the world, considered the most dangerous place anywhere in the world. And he opened it up, and these killers are coming into our country, and they are raping and killing women. And it's a terrible thing. As far as the abortion is concerned, it is now back with the states. The states are voting. In many cases, it's frankly a very liberal decision. In many cases, it's the opposite. But they're voting, and it's bringing it back to the vote of the people, which is what everybody wanted, including the founders, if they knew about this issue, which frankly they didn't. But they would have, everybody wanted it brought back. Ronald Reagan wanted it brought back. He wasn't able to get it. Everybody wanted it brought back, and many presidents had tried to get it back. I was the one to do it. And again, this gives it the vote of the people, and that's where they wanted it. Every legal scholar wanted it that way.
Staying on the topic of abortion, President Biden, 7 states, I'll let you do that. This is the same topic. 7 states have no legal restrictions on how far into a pregnancy a woman can obtain an abortion. Do you support any legal limits on how late a woman should be able to terminate a pregnancy?
I support Roe v. Wade, which had 3 trimesters. The first time is between the woman and the doctor. Second time is between the doctor and an extreme situation.
Oh my God,
Third
bro!
time is between the doctor, between the
Trump.
woman and the state. The idea that the politicians.
Trump just nailed that too, man. I mean, maybe I'm being biased. I don't know, bro.
Women's health is ridiculous. That's the last. No politician should be making that decision. A doctor should be making those decisions. That's how it should be run. That's what you're going to do. And if I'm elected, I'm going to restore Roe v. Wade.
So that means he can take the life of the baby in the 9th month and even after birth, because some states, Democrat run, take it after birth. Again, the former governor of Virginia, put the baby down, then we decide what to do with it. So he's
I had to get my drink, Mike.
as we say, rip the baby out of the womb in the 9th month
Wow.
and kill the baby. Nobody wants that to happen. Democrat or Republican, nobody wants
Joe
it to happen.
Biden is like a fucking zombie.
Simply not true. That Roe v. Wade does not provide for that. That's not the circumstance. Only a woman's life is in danger. She's going to die. That's the only circumstance in which that can happen. But we are not for late-term abortion, period. Period, period.
Under Roe v. Wade, you have late-term abortion. You can do whatever you want, depending on the state. You can do whatever you want. We don't think that's a good thing. We think it's a radical thing. We think the Democrats are the radicals, not the Republicans.
For 51 years, that was the law. 51 years, constitutional scholarship said it was the right way to go. 51 years, and it was taken away because this guy put very conservative members on the Supreme Court. He takes credit for taking it away. What's he going to do? What's he going to do, in fact, if the MAGA Republicans, he gets elected?
What's he gonna do, brother?
Republicans control the Congress, and they pass a universal ban on abortion, period, across the board at 6 weeks or 7 or 8 or 10.
Give Trump a
Something
point for the
very,
one
very
earlier. I'm going to give Biden a
Is he
point for
gonna sign
this.
that bill? I'll veto it. He'll sign it.
Wow.
Let's turn now to the issue of immigration and border security. President Biden, a record number of migrants have illegally crossed
Here we
the
go.
southern border on your watch.
Here we go.
Overwhelming border
Trump's made it
states,
about this all night,
over
as
big
he
cities such as
should,
New York and
in my
Chicago,
opinion.
In some cases, causing real safety and security concerns. Given that, why should voters
This is better
trust
than
you to solve
WWE,
this crisis?
AEW. This is better than the
We
movies.
worked very hard to get a bipartisan agreement.
It's better than everything tonight.
Changed all of that. It made sure that we were in a situation where you had no circumstance where they could come across the border with the number of border police there are now. We significantly increased the number of asylum officers. Significantly.
He
by the way,
can't-
the Border
is
Patrol
Joe
endorsed
speaking right
me,
now? What the
endorsed
fuck?
my position. In addition to that, we found ourselves in a situation where when he was president, he was separating babies from their mothers, putting them in cages.
You
making
put
sure
him in the
that
cages, you
families
fucking
were
liar!
separated.
You
That's
built
what
the
they're
fucking
gonna do. What I've
cages!
done since I've changed the law, what's happened? I've changed it in a way that now...
You and Obama built the cages! What the fuck? All right, I'm giving Trump a point.
And I'm going to continue to move until we get the total ban.
Well, I'm taking a point away. He's fucking lying. I'm going to take a point away.
Relative to what we're going to do with...
What a fucking liar. That's a fucked up lie, bro.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either. Look, we had the safest border in the history of our country. The border, all he had to do was leave it. All he had to do was leave it. He decided to open up our border, open up our country to people that are from prisons, people that are from mental institutions, insane asylum, terrorists. We have the largest number of terrorists coming into our country right now, all terrorists, all over the world, not just in South America, all over the world. They come from the Middle East, everywhere, all over the world they're pouring in. And this guy just left it open. And he didn't need legislation, because I didn't have legislation. I said, close the border. We had the safest
Please
border
bring
in
up
history.
that he
In
built the
final
cages,
couple
not
of months of
you.
my
Please
presidency,
bring up that
we
he
had,
built the
according to
cages, not
Gordon,
you.
Who was great, and by the way, who endorsed me for president, but I won't say that, but they endorsed me for president. Brandon, just speak to him. But look, we had the safest border in history. Now we have the worst border in history. There's never been anything like it. And people are dying all over the place, including the people that are coming out in
Thank you, President Trump.
caravans.
President Biden?
The only terrorist who's done anything across the border is one who came along and killed three, and his administration, killed an Al-Qaeda person come in his administration.
What?
Killed three American soldiers. Killed three American soldiers. That's the only terrorist that's there. I'm not saying that no terrorist ever got through, but the idea they're...
You are, you just said that.
They're welcoming these people.
I know what he's talking about now. He's right, but...
To support what he said. Once again...
Joe is right about that, but he's saying it wrong.
President Trump, staying on the topic of immigration, you said that you're going to carry out, quote, the largest domestic deportation operation in American history, unquote. Does that mean that you will deport every undocumented immigrant in America, including those who have jobs, including those whose spouses are citizens, and including those who have lived here for decades? And if so, how will you do it?
Just 1 second. He said we killed three people. The people we killed are al-Baghdadi and Soleimani, the two greatest terrorists, biggest terrorists anywhere in the world. And it had a huge impact on everything, not just border.
That's not what Biden was talking about, Trump.
He's the one.
He's talking about something else. It's just hard to understand what he's saying.
Hundreds of thousands of people dying, and also killing our citizens when they come in. We are living right now in a rat's nest. They're killing our people in New York, in California, in every state in the union, because we don't have borders anymore. Every state is now a border. And because of his ridiculous, insane, and very stupid policies, people are coming in and they're killing our citizens at a level that we've never seen. We call it migrant crime. I call it Biden migrant crime. They're killing our citizens at a level that we've never seen before. And you're reading it like these three incredible young girls over the last few days. One of them, I just spoke to the mother, and he just had the funeral for this girl, 12 years old. This is horrible what's taken place. What's taken place in our country, we're literally an uncivilized country now. He doesn't want it to be. He just doesn't know. He opened the borders. Nobody's ever seen anything like. And we have to get a lot of these people out, and we have to get them out fast, because they're going to destroy our country. Just take a look at where they're living. They're living in luxury hotels.
Wow.
In New York City and other places. Our veterans are on the street. They're dying because he doesn't care about our veterans. He doesn't care. He doesn't like the military at all. And he doesn't care about our veterans. Nobody been worse. I had the highest approval rating for veterans taking care of the VA. He has the worst. He's gotten rid of all the things that I approved. Choice that I got through Congress.
Wow.
All of the different things.
This
I
is
approved,
crazy.
They abandoned. We had by far the highest, and now it's down in less than half. Because he's done all these
Dude,
great
even
things
if
that
you
we did.
love Trump,
And I
like
think he
you
did it
love
just because
Biden
I
and you
approved
hate
it, which
Trump,
is crazy.
like
But he's
Biden
killed
is
so many
getting
people
raped
at our border
right
by
now.
allowing all of these people to come in. And it's a very sad day in America.
President Biden, you have the mic.
Every single thing he said is a lie. Every single one. For example, veterans are a hell of a lot better off since they passed the PACT Act. 1 million of them now have insurance, and their families have it. Their families have it because what happened, whether it was Agent Orange or burn pits, they're all being covered now. And he opposed, his group opposed that. We're also in a situation where we have great respect for veterans. My son spent a year in Iraq. living right next to one of those burn pits, came back with stage 4 glioblastoma.
You would think Joe Biden's son died in Iraq. He would take care of the. They would take care of the veterans better. They don't.
I spoke all about those.
I don't think Trump. I don't think anybody takes care of the veterans very well, though.
World War I cemetery he refused to go to. He was standing with his 4-star general.
Now he's talking about his son. Like,
I don't want to go in there because they're a bunch of losers and suckers. My son was not a loser. Was not a sucker. You're the sucker. You're the loser.
President Trump?
First of all, that was a made-up quote, suckers and losers. They made it up. It was in a third-rate magazine that's failing.
Joe Biden just lied and made it up. I'm giving a point to Trump. What a fucking lying idiot. What a fucking liar.
Who would say, I'm at a cemetery or I'm talking about our veterans? Because nobody's taken better care. I'm so glad this came up and he brought it up. There's nobody that's taken better care of our soldiers than I have.
That is unreal.
I think that I would, in front of generals and others,
liars and suckers. Trump didn't say that.
People that said it was never said by me. It was made up by him, just like Russia was made up.
Biden's got a son that's going to die by fucking fentanyl. This is crazy.
Just like the new thing with the 16 economists are talking, it's the same thing. 51 intelligence agents said that the laptop was Russia disinformation. It wasn't. That came from his son, Hunter. It wasn't Russia disinformation. He made up the suckers and losers, so he should apologize to me right now.
4-star general standing to your side who was on your staff who said you said it, period. That's number one. And number two, the idea.
I can get a lot of people to say that Joe Biden said something too.
Along the line. We've done more.
I can pay somebody to say someone said something too, Joey.
American history. And they now are in their family. The only sacred obligation we have as a country is to care for our veterans when they come home and their families and equip them when they go to war. That's what we're doing. That's what the VA is doing now. They're doing more for veterans than ever before in our history.
All right, thank you so much.
Let's move to the topic of foreign policy. I want to begin.
This is
with
better than
Russia's war
WrestleMania.
against Ukraine.
God
which is
damn.
now in its third year.
This is better than WrestleMania.
President Trump, Russian President Vladimir Putin says he'll only end this war if Russia keeps the Ukrainian territory it has already claimed and Ukraine abandons its bid to join NATO. Are Putin's terms acceptable to you?
First of all, our veterans and our soldiers can't stand this guy. They can't stand him. They think he's the worst commander-in-chief, if that's what you call him, that we've ever had. They can't stand him. So let's get that straight. And they like me more than just about any of them. And that's based on every single bit of information. As far as Russia and Ukraine,
Wow.
if we had a real president, a president that knew, that was respected by Putin, he would have never invaded Ukraine. A lot of people are dead right now, much more than people know. You know, they talk about numbers. You can
Because
double those
if you
numbers,
say,
you can triple
yes,
those numbers.
Russia, go ahead, do that to
He did
Ukraine,
nothing
we'll
to stop
fuck
it.
you
In fact,
up.
I think he encouraged
They're not
Russia
gonna
from
do
going
it.
in. I'll tell you what
But
happened.
if
He
you
was
put
so
your
bad
weapons
with
there on
Afghanistan.
purpose so
It
that
was
a
such
war starts,
horrible,
you get a war.
The most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. That when Putin watched that, and
This
he
is
saw the
crazy.
incompetence, that he should have fired those generals, like I fired the one that you mentioned, and so he's got no love lost. But he should have fired those generals. No general got fired for the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country, Afghanistan, where we left billions of dollars of equipment.
Somebody just
behind.
walked in
We
front of
lost
the
13
camera.
beautiful
Somebody
soldiers,
just
and
walked in
38
front of the
soldiers
camera.
were obliterated. And by the way, we left people behind too. We left American citizens behind. When Putin saw that, he said, you know what? I think we're going to go in and maybe take my... This was his dream. I talked to him about it, his dream. The difference is he never would have invaded Ukraine. Never. Just like Israel would have never been invaded in a million years by Hamas.
This is unbelievable.
You know why? Because Iran was broke with me. I wouldn't let anybody
Biden
do
might
business
cry,
with them.
bro.
They ran out of money. They were broke. They had no money for Hamas. They had no money for anything. No money for terror. That's why you had no terror at all during my administration. This place, the whole world is blowing up under him.
President Biden?
I've never heard so much malarkey in my whole life. Look, the fact of the matter is that we're in a situation where, let's take the last point first. Iran attacked American troops, caused brain damage for a number of these troops.
I've never heard so much malarkey. You're the one that's lied. I think Trump is spinning a little bit here tonight. He spun a few things Trump has, but Biden has straight up lied 3 times about Trump.
Over 100,000 Americans and others out.
That's crazy.
Of Afghanistan during that airlift. Number 3, found ourselves in a situation where, if you take a look at what Trump did in Ukraine, this guy told Trump, do whatever you want, and do whatever you want. And that's exactly what Trump did to Putin, encourage him, do whatever you want. And he went in. And listen to what he said when he went in. He was going to take Kyiv in 5 days, remember? Because it's part of the old Soviet Union. That's what he wanted to reestablish, Kyiv. And he, in fact, didn't do it at all. He wasn't able to get it done. And they've lost thousands and thousands of troops, 500,000 troops.
President Trump,
I
I'm going
never
to come back
said
to you
that.
for 1 minute. I just want to go back to my original question, which is, are Putin's terms acceptable to you? Keeping the territory of Ukraine.
No, they're not acceptable. But look, this is a war that never should have started. If we had a leader in this war, he led everybody along. He's given $200 billion now or more to Ukraine. He's given $200 billion. That's a lot of money. I don't think there's ever been anything like it. Every time that Zelensky comes to this country, he walks away with $60 billion. He's the greatest salesman ever. And I'm not knocking him. I'm not knocking anything. I'm only saying the money that we're spending on this war, and we shouldn't be spending, it should have never happened. I will have that war settled between Putin and Zelensky as president-elect before I take office on January 20th. I'll have that war settled.
Wow.
People being killed so needlessly, so stupidly, and I will get it settled, and I'll get it settled fast.
Man,
before I
Biden
take
does not
office.
look good, dude. He does not look good.
The fact is that Putin is a war criminal. He's killed thousands and thousands of people.
Putin is a war
And
criminal.
He has made one thing clear. He wants to reestablish what was part of the Soviet Empire.
Who
Not
cares?
just a piece. He wants all of Ukraine. That's what he wants.
Who cares?
Do you think he'll stop there? Do you think he'll stop when if he takes Ukraine? What do you think happens to Poland? What do you think of Belarus? What do you think happens to those NATO countries? And so if you want a war, you ought to find out what he's going to do, because
Wait till
if,
he
in
tries
fact,
to take a
does
NATO
what he
country.
says and walks away. By the way, all that money we give Ukraine are from weapons we make here in the United States. We give them the weapons, not the money at this point. And
At
our
this
NATO
point?
allies have produced as much funding for Ukraine as we have. That's why it's
This is
that's why we're
funny.
strong.
Thank you. Moving on to the Middle East. In October, Hamas
Wow.
attacked Israel, killing more than 1,000 people and taking hundreds of hostages. Among those held and thought to still be alive are 5 Americans.
Nobody cares,
Israel's
though.
response has killed thousands of Palestinians. And
Bro, we
created
better get.
humanitarian
If I was
crisis in
Trump, I'd be
Gaza.
like, we're going to get. You give us
President
back
Biden,
our hostages,
you've
or
put
we're going to
forward a
fucking kill you.
proposal
That's
to
what Trump
resolve
should say.
this conflict.
Give us our
But so
fucking
far,
hostages,
Hamas has
or
not
we're going to
released
fucking kill you.
hostages.
We're going to
Israel
fucking
is
bomb you.
continuing
Give us the
military
Americans
action.
back. That's
So
what you should say.
additional leverage will you
That's what
use
Trump should say.
to get Hamas and Israel to end the war? You have 2 minutes.
Number one, everyone from the United Nations Security Council straight through to the G7 to the Israelis and Netanyahu himself have endorsed the plan I put forward.
They will agree on this
Endorsed
topic.
the plan I
True.
put forward, which has 3 stages to it. The first stage is trade the hostages for a ceasefire. Second phase is a ceasefire with additional conditions. The third phase is the end of the war. The only one who wants the war to continue is Hamas. Number one, they're the only ones standing out. We're still pushing hard to get them to accept. In the meantime, what's happened? In Israel, we're finding that the only thing I've denied Israel was 2,000-pound bombs. They don't work very well in populated areas. They kill a lot of innocent people. We're providing Israel with all the weapons they need and when they need them. And by the way, I'm the guy that organized the world against Iran when they had a full-blown intercontinental ballistic missile attack on Israel. No one was
Aren't
hurt.
you the guy that
No
gave
one-
Iran $6 million or whatever it was?
And it just stopped. We saved Israel. We are the biggest producer of support. for
Jesus
Israel
Christ.
anywhere in
What
the
is he
world.
talking
And
about?
so they're 2 different things. Hamas cannot be allowed to be continued. We continue to send our experts and our intelligence people as to how they can get Hamas like we did bin Laden. You don't have to do it. And by the way, they've been greatly weakened, Hamas, greatly weakened, and they should be. They should be eliminated. But you've got to be careful for using certain weapons among population centers.
I agree with that. I like what he said there about, not
Let's get
killing
back to
civilians.
Ukraine for 1 second. We have an ocean separating us. The European nations together have spent $100 billion, or maybe more than that, less than us,
Weird.
Why doesn't he call them and say, you got to put up your money like I did with NATO? I got them to put up hundreds of billions of dollars. The Secretary General of NATO said Trump did the most incredible job I've ever seen. They wouldn't have any. They were going out of business. We were spending almost 100% of the money was paid by us. He didn't do that. He's getting all. You got to ask these people to put up the money. We're over $100 billion more spent, and it has a bigger impact on them because of location, because we have an ocean in between. You got to ask them. As far as Israel and Hamas, Israel's the one that wants to go. He said the only one who wants to keep going is Hamas. Actually, Israel is the one, and you should let him go and let him finish the job. He doesn't want to do it. He's become like a Palestinian, but they don't like him because he's a very bad Palestinian. He's a weak one.
President Biden, you have a minute.
I've never heard so much foolishness. This is a guy who wants to get out.
He's
going to
say that every time.
He's going to pull out of NATO. The idea that we have our strength lies in our alliances as well. It may be a big ocean, but we're ever able to avoid a war in Europe, a major war in Europe? What happens if, in fact, you have Putin continue to go into NATO? We have an Article 5 agreement. Attack on one is attack on all. You want to start the nuclear war he keeps talking about, go ahead. Let Putin go in and control Ukraine, and then move on to Poland and other places. See what happens then. He has no idea what the hell he's talking about. And by the way, I got 50 other nations around the world to support Ukraine, including Japan and South Korea, because they understand
for 4 years
this kind of dislocation.
For 4 years, it was pretty peaceful.
To the whole world.
That's all I know.
No major war in Europe has ever been able to be contained just to Europe.
President Trump, just to follow up, would you support the creation of an independent Palestinian state in order to achieve peace in the region?
I'd have to see, but before we do that, the problem we have is that we spend all the money. So they kill us on trade. I made great trade deals with the European nations. Because if you add them up, they're about the same size economically. Their economy is about the same size as the United States. And they were no cars, they don't want anything that we have. But we're supposed to take their cars, their food, their everything, their agriculture. I changed that. But the big thing I changed is they don't want to pay. And the only reason that he can play games with NATO is because I got them to put up hundreds of billions of dollars. I said, and he's right about this, I said, no, I'm not going to support NATO if you don't pay. They asked me that question, would you guard us against Russia, at a very secret meeting of the 28 states at that time, nations at that time. And they said, no, if you don't pay, I won't do that. And you know what happened? Billions and billions of dollars came flowing in the next day and the next months. But now we're in the same position. We're paying everybody's bills.
Let's turn to the issue of democracy. Former
Wow.
President Trump, I want to ask you about
I'm going to give
January
Trump a
6th,
point on that one.
After you rallied your supporters that day, some of them stormed the Capitol to stop the constitutionally mandated counting of electoral votes.
This is
As president,
crazy.
You swore an oath to, quote, preserve, protect, and defend, unquote, the Constitution. What do you say to voters who believe that you violated that oath through your actions and inaction on January 6th and worry that you'll do it again?
Well, I don't think too many believe that. And let me tell you about January 6th. On January 6th, we had a great border. Nobody coming through, very few. On January 6th, we were energy independent. On January 6th, we had the lowest taxes ever. We had the lowest regulations ever. On January 6th, we were respected all over the world. All over the world, we were respected. And then he comes in, and we're now laughed at. We're like a bunch of stupid people. What happened to the United States' reputation under this man's leadership is horrible, including weaponization.
Trump's
which I'm
repeating
sure at some
himself.
point you'll be talking about, where he goes after his political opponent because he can't beat him fair and square.
Trump's
You have
dancing
80
around
seconds left.
January
My question
6th and
was,
repeating
what
himself.
do you say to those voters who believe that you violated your constitutional oath through your actions and inaction on January 6, 2021?
They're re-asking the question because he didn't answer
Well, I
it.
didn't say that to anybody. I said peacefully and patriotically. And Nancy Pelosi, if you just watched the news from 2 days ago, on tape to her daughter, who's a documentary filmmaker, they say, but she's saying, oh, no, it's my responsibility. I was responsible for this. Because I offered her 10,000 soldiers or National Guard, and she turned them down. And the mayor of, in writing, by the way, the mayor, in writing, turned it down, the mayor of D.C. They turned it down. I offered 10,000 because I could see, I had virtually nothing to do. They asked me to go make a speech. I could see what was happening. Everybody was saying they're going to be there on January 6th. They're going to be there. And I said, you know what? There's a lot of people coming. You could feel it. You could feel it too, and you could feel it. And I said, they ought to have some National Guard or whatever. And I offered it to her, and she now admits that she turned it down. And it was the same day she was, I don't know, she can't be very happy with her daughter because it made her into a liar. She said, I take full responsibility for January 6th.
President Biden?
Look, he encouraged those folks to go up on Capitol Hill, number one. I sat in that dining room off the Oval Office. He sat there for 3 hours.
I don't think Trump encouraged it, but it was reckless of him to have a rally there that day.
And a number of his colleagues.
Well, he did encourage him. He told them to meet him up there, actually. But
call for a stop, to end it. Instead, he talked about these people being
I think both is true, by the way. I think both can be true.
America. In fact, he says he'll now forgive them for what they've done. They've been convicted. He says he wants to commute their sentences and say that no. He went to every single court in the nation. I don't know how many cases, scores of cases, including the Supreme Court, and they said, no, this guy is responsible for doing what was done. He did do a damn thing, and these people should be in jail, and they should be the ones that are being held.
I don't think some of these people should be in jail. Not some of them, and not the length that they are.
Such a whiner that he is, that there could be a bloodbath.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
What they've done to some people that are so innocent, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. What you have done, how you've destroyed the lives of so many people. When they ripped down Portland, when they ripped down many other cities, you go to Minnesota, Minneapolis, what they've done there with the fires all over the city. If I didn't bring in the National Guard, that city would have been destroyed. When you look at all of they took over big chunks of Seattle. I was all set to bring in the National Guard. They heard that. They saw them coming, and they left immediately. What he said about this whole subject is so off. Peacefully patriotic. One other thing. The Unselect Committee, which is basically two horrible Republicans that are all gone now out of office, and Democrats, all Democrats, they destroyed and deleted all of the information they found because they found out we were right. We were right. And they deleted and destroyed all of the information. They should go to jail for that.
Wow.
If a Republican did that, they'd go to jail.
Thank you, President Trump. President Biden.
I'm giving Trump a point for that whole thing.
He's a convicted felon, is the man I'm looking at right now. And the fact of the matter is, what he's telling you.
That was a good line
true.
by Biden to call him a felon.
The fact is that there was no effort on his part to stop what was going on.
Trump brought up jail, and Biden said, you're the only convicted felon. Even though I don't agree with the convicted felon thing, I got to give Biden a point for
the
that.
idea that they didn't kill somebody, just went in and broke down doors, broke the windows, occupied offices, turned over desks, turned them over statues. The idea that those people are patriots? Come on. When I asked him the first two debates we had, first time around, I said, will you denounce the Proud Boys? He said, no, I'll tell them to stand by. The idea he's refusing, will you denounce these guys?
Stand back, stand by. That's the weirdest line ever.
The people who attacked that Capitol. What are you going to do?
I'm going to give you a minute, President Trump, for a follow-up question I have. After a jury convicted you of 34 felonies last month, you said if reelected, you would, quote, have every right to go after, unquote, your political opponents. You just talked about members of the Select Committee on January 6th going to jail. Your main political opponent is standing on stage with you tonight. Can you clarify exactly what it means about you feeling you have every right to go after your political opponents?
Well, I said my retribution is going to be success. We're going to make this country successful again, because right now it's a failed
Trump
nation.
doesn't want to talk about putting people in jail.
Going to be success. But when he talks about a convicted felon, his son is a convicted felon at a very high level. His son is convicted, going to be convicted probably numerous other times. Should have been convicted before, but his Justice Department let the statute of limitations lapse on the most important things. But he could be a convicted felon as soon as he gets out of office. Joe could be a convicted felon with all of the things that he's done. He's done horrible things. All of the death caused at the border, telling the Ukrainian people that we're going to want $1 billion or you change the prosecutor. Otherwise, you're not getting $1 billion. If I ever said that, that's quid pro quo. That we're not going to do anything. We're not going to give you $1 billion unless you change your prosecutor having to do with his son. This man is a criminal. This man, you're lucky. You're lucky. I did nothing wrong. We'd have a system that was rigged and disgusting. I did nothing wrong.
Thank you, President Trump. President Biden, you
Wow.
have said,
Okay.
I'm coming
See, I
back to
don't
you,
think
sir.
Trump wants to put
Well, you want
people in
respond to it? I'll
jail.
give
You
a
know,
minute to respond.
The idea
he likes to talk
that
about
you
it,
did
but
wrong relative to what you're talking about is outrageous. It's simply a lie, number one. Number two, the idea that you have a right to seek retribution against any American just because you're president is wrong.
I don't think Trump said that.
Simply wrong. No president's ever spoken like that before. No president in our history has spoken like that before. Number
I don't think
three,
Trump just said that.
the crimes that you are still charged with. And think of all the civil penalties you have. How many billions of dollars do you owe in civil penalties for molesting a woman in public, for doing a whole range of things, of having sex with a porn star on the night while your wife was pregnant? I mean, what are you talking about? You have the morals of an alley cat.
Give your minute, sir.
I didn't have sex with a porn star, number one. Number two, that was a case that was started and moved. They moved a high-ranking official, a DOJ, into the Manhattan DA's office to start that case. That case is going to be appealed and won. We had a very terrible judge, a horrible judge, Democrat. The prosecutor were all high-ranking Democrats, appointed people, and both the civil and the criminal. He basically
I got to give
went
Joe
after
Biden a
his
point.
political opponent
Whether that's
because
right,
thought it was
he
gonna
might have just
damage
lied a
people,
little
and the
bit, but
public found
that
out about
was
these cases because they understand it better than he does. He
that
has
was
no
a hard
idea what
one.
These cases are. But when they found out about these cases, you know what they did? My poll numbers went up, way up. You know that because you're reporting it. And we took in more money in the last 2 weeks than we've ever taken.
Now
in
Trump's
the
spinning
history
it into the
any
success
campaign.
it
I
is.
don't think any campaign has ever taken.
Wow.
Hundreds of millions of dollars came pouring in because the public knows it's a scam and it's a guy that's after his political opponent because he can't win fair and square.
Thank you,
Whoa.
President Trump. President Biden, you have said, quote, Donald
Wow.
Trump and his MAGA Republicans are determined
I'll give
to
Trump a
destroy
point for that.
American democracy. Do you
He
believe
started
that the tens
bad,
of
but then he
millions
dug
of
his way out
Americans
of it.
who are
That's-
likely to
that
vote
was
for
interesting.
President Trump will be voting against
All right, everybody in the
American
chat.
democracy?
This is
The more
crazy.
they know about what he's done, yes.
Wow.
The more they know about what he's done. And there's a lot more coming. He's got a lot of cases out there coming. He's got a whole range of issues he has to face. I don't know what the jury is
Thomas
gonna do.
Dadder, thanks for
But I
subbing to
do
the channel.
know he has a real problem. And so the fact that, could you ever think you hear any president say that I'm going to seek retribution? You ever hear any president say that I thought Hitler had some good
You ever seen a
ideas?
president
Well, can't be
actually
involved
do
in
it?
the
You're
first
doing
my
it.
son had died, I decided in Iraq because of Iraq. I said I
But
wouldn't
Joe
be president
Biden, you're
until I
doing
saw
it.
What happened in Charlottesville, Virginia?
He's like, have
People
you ever
coming
heard
out
of a
those
president
parents
talking
foster
about doing something? You're doing it.
and seeing the same anti-Semitic.
So what's he
bias
talking
as
about?
saying When back in Germany.
Oh, my God.
And the young woman got killed. I spoke to the mother, and they asked him. They said, "What do you think of those people? The people the ones who got killed, the one who tried to stop it, and the ones he said, I think they're fine people on both sides."
That's not what he
What
said. That was
American
just
president
they just
ever
fact
said
checked this the other day and
Nazis
admitted
come
that
out
he
of
didn't
fields
say that.
carrying torches,
Trump did
same-
not say that.
Same anti-Semitic bile. Carrying
And there are
swastika.
some fine people on every
Fine
side.
people. This is a guy who says Hitler's done some good things. I'd like to know what they are. The good things Hitler's done, that's what he said. This guy has no sense of American democracy.
President Trump.
Jake, both of you know that sir has been totally wiped out because when you see the sentence, it said 100% exoneration on this. So he just keeps it going. He says he ran because of Charlottesville. He didn't run because of Charlottesville.
Biden just lied
He ran
again.
because it was
He brought
his
up
last
another
chance.
lie. That's the
He's not
fifth
fit
lie
to be
Joe
president.
Biden has
You know, and
has
you take
said
that
on
at
the
end of day,
stage about
you're
Trump.
trying to justify his
This is
presidency.
crazy.
His presidency, he's
I'm
without
taking another
question,
point away from
the
Biden.
worst president, the worst presidency
Another
in the
full-blown
history of our
lie
country.
that has been
We
proven
should
a
be
lie and
having a
admitted a
debate
lie.
about it. There's nothing to
And then
debate.
Joe Biden's
He made
using
up
it,
the
though.
Charlottesville
I gotta
story,
take it away.
and you'll see it's debunked all over the place.
I'm
Every
taking-
anchor every reasonable anchor has debunked it. And just the other day,
And he's
came out
using
where
it.
It was fully debunked. It's a nonsense story. He knows that, and he didn't run because
I don't
of
think he does
Charlottesville.
know
He
that.
used that as an excuse to run.
President Biden.
And debunk. It happened. All you have to do is listen to what was said at the time. And the idea that somehow that's the only reason I ran. I ran because I was worried a guy like this guy could get elected. If he thought they were good people coming out of that forest, carrying those woods, carrying those torches, then he didn't deserve to be president.
That's not what he said. Joe Biden, you fucking idiot. You fucking idiot, Biden. What is he doing?
We saw with our own eyes. We saw what happened on January 6th. We saw the people breaking through the windows. We saw people occupying
that part you're fine with, but
vice president. Look,
oh my God, he's just lying.
40 of his 40
this is crazy.
Cabinet officers refused to endorse him.
Oh my God, get your grandfather.
Vice president endorsed him this time. So why? Why? They know him well. They serve with him. Why are they not endorsing him?
Oh my God, bro.
Thank you, President Biden. We're going to be right back with more from the CNN.
Oh my God, I thought that was a machine gun. They're going to have to give Biden some pills now during the break. We're on a commercial break, thank God. Holy shit, dude, that was crazy. I mean, there are times, little moments where Biden was there, but then he was really out to lunch on a lot of things, man. Oh my God, bro, he doesn't know what he's talking about. He made so many mistakes here because he's bringing up all these things that have had enough time to been proven false, and even recently proven false, and he's bringing them up. Why are you bringing them up? Like, oh my God. If I'm Biden, I'm not bringing up the very fine people. I'm not bringing up any of this stuff from back then. I'm bringing up January 6th. I'm bringing up January 6th, the felonies, the convictions to come, maybe the women's stuff like he just said. You know, grab them by the private parts, and then now convicted of rape. You know, there's some really terrible things. You know, you'd probably like some of these people that have come across the border. But, you know, he's not doing that. He did that a little bit. Yes, he is doing that, but he's doing so much of the old school bullshit that's been proven wrong. That's a huge mistake by Biden. He's literally, like, anybody who's watching who's a Democrat is like, okay, that wasn't true about Trump, but he's still an asshole. Trump is still an asshole, and I don't like Trump, and fuck Trump. But that, you're right, that wasn't really true, but I know he's still a scumbag. But now Biden is out there saying these things are true, and they're not. And so regular Democrats who have a brain are watching this, and they're going like, what? Why is he flipping out about something that isn't really true? Like, what are you doing? Like, so... Oh my God, is that just a mistake by Biden? Like, what are you doing? Go talk about the things that are important. You know what I would have brought up? I would have brought up that Trump called Zelensky like a moron or something earlier, that he was only looking for money or something like that. I would have said, if I was Biden, I would have said, only looking for money, huh? Like, that's what you think about our ally and our friend his country is attacked and being invaded by Russia. If we were invaded by Russia... It would make perfect sense for us to be looking for money and looking for help and looking for weapons and looking for support. And I know for a fact, Mr. Trump, that you have talked about how you would support our allies too from threats and terroristic threats in Russia and all that stuff. And that's what I'm doing, but I'm being painted an evil villain by the Republican Party and by you, but all I'm doing is I'm standing up to the bullies. And I wish that you would stand up to the bullies, too, and that you would see what we're really doing for Ukraine and not call a man who's trying to lead a country who's lost so many lives and land and been attacked, who's just doing what any leader should do for their country by trying to, you know what I mean, fund the military and get support. I wish you wouldn't call a guy like that, who someday you'll be, if you were to become president, would be sitting by to help. He would be relying on you. And are you going to tell him to his face that he's the best salesman ever and a scumbag or whatever the things that you think about him or say about him? That's what Biden should have gone in on that. He didn't do that. He had an open door to do it because Trump actually slipped up and kind of crapped on Zelensky in a big way. And then he was like, well, you know, I don't think that, but, you know, I'm just saying that. But, you know, because Trump backpedaled, which tells you that he shouldn't have really. Trump's like, oops, I shouldn't say that. So anyway, Biden should have jumped on that and got into that a little bit more. I understand the foreign wars more than you do. And I'm being, you know, basically... You know, that's being looked at as a negative on me for understanding our foreign policy so well. But you don't understand it so much that you seem like this innocent person who wants no part of it, which I understand. But you have no idea, and neither do the American people. And boy, let me tell you something. I know things that are unbelievable, and I need to be the one to lead us into the future. Continue.
Progress, number one. The fact of the matter is
We're back on the debate.
Small black businesses that have been started at any time in history. Number two, the wages of black unemployment is the lowest level it's been in a long, long time. Number three, we're providing housing for black Americans and dealing with the segregation that exists among these corporate corporations that collude to keep people out of their houses.
The only segregation that's happening right now is every corporation in the country that don't want to hire white people.
That black families have to make relative to childcare is incredibly.
And Harvard University that wants to hold separate graduations for non-white people so that whites don't graduate with black people.
Childcare costs, cut them in half. We got to make sure we provide for child care costs. We got to make sure, because when you provide those child care protections, you increase economic growth because more people could be in the job market. So there's more to be done, considerably more to be done. But we've done a great deal so far, and I'm not letting up, and they know it.
You have 49 seconds left. What do you say to black voters who are disappointed with the progress so far?
I say I don't blame them for being disappointed. Inflation is still hurting them badly. For example, I provided for the idea that any black family, first-time home buyer, should get a $10,000 tax credit to be able to buy their first home. So they can.
Why doesn't any family get a tax credit?
Where all those black families.
So Joe Biden's a racist towards whites.
Take out student loans that were below.
I couldn't get a house ever.
Engaged in nursing, doctor, and
nobody can get a house right now.
To do with volunteerism. If they paid their bills for 10 years on their student debt, all the rest was forgiven after 10 years. Millions have benefited from that. And we're going to do a whole lot more for black families.
Thank you, President
I
Trump.
do like the $10,000.
He caused the inflation. He's blaming inflation, and he's right, it's been very bad. He caused the inflation, and it's killing black families and Hispanic families and just about everybody. It's killing people. They can't buy groceries anymore. They can't. You look at the cost of food where it's doubled and tripled and quadrupled. They can't live. They're not living anymore. He caused.
They're not living anymore.
A country
What
with essentially no inflation. It was perfect. It was so good. All he had to do is leave it alone. He destroyed it with his Green New scam and all this money that's being thrown out the window. He caused inflation. As sure as you're sitting there, the fact is that his big kill on the black people is the millions of people that he's allowed to come in through the border. They're taking black jobs now, and it could be 18, it could be 19, and even 20 million people. They're
Wow.
taking black jobs,
Trump.
and they're taking Hispanic jobs, and you haven't seen it yet, but you're going to see something that's going to be the worst in our history.
Thank you.
Wow.
There was no inflation when I became president. You know why? The economy was flat on its back. 50% unemployment. He decimated the economy.
Dude, COVID decimated the economy. Oh, my God, Biden. I'm giving Trump a point.
There were no jobs.
I'm giving Trump a point for that savagery about the Mexicans. The illegals are going to take the jobs of blacks and legal Hispanic Americans. Legal Hispanic Americans and Hispanics who are trying to almost legal. And black Americans and white Americans. They're going to take their jobs for real.
We find ourselves in a position
That's a
where
fact.
The idea that we're not doing it, we put more police on the street.
Trump is murdering him. I mean, I'm a traditional liberal, so I'm telling you, bro, Trump is winning.
People have a shot to make it. There's a lot going on, but in inflation, he caused it by his tremendous malfeasance in the way he handled the pandemic.
Thank you. Another persistent challenge is the climate crisis. 2023 was the hottest year in recorded history, and communities across the country are confronting the devastating effects of extreme heat, intensifying wildfires, stronger hurricanes, and rising sea levels. Former President Trump, you've vowed to end your opponent's climate initiatives, but will you take any action as president to slow the climate crisis?
Let me just go back to what he said about the police, how close the police are to him. Almost every police group in the nation from every state is supporting Donald J. Trump. Almost every police group. And what he's done to the black population is horrible, including the fact that for 10 years he called them super predators. We can't, in the 1990s, we can't forget that. Super predators was his name. And he called it to them, and they've taken great offense at it. And now they see it happening. But when they see what I did for criminal justice reform and for the historically black colleges and universities, where I funded them and got them all funded, and the opportunity zones with Tim, as you know, Tim Scott was
super predators.
Great senator from South Carolina.
Oh my God!
He came to me with the idea, and it was a great idea. It's one of the most successful economic development acts ever in the country. Opportunity zones, and the biggest beneficiary are blacks, and that's why we have the best numbers with them in maybe ever. They're saying ever. I read this morning where ever the best numbers. He's lost much of the black population because he's done a horrible job for black people. He's also done a horrible job for Hispanics. But when do you see these millions of people pouring into our country and they're going to take the jobs, and it's already started, and you haven't seen anything yet? It's a disaster.
38 seconds left.
You haven't seen anything yet. I love it.
Any action as president to slow the climate crisis?
So I want absolutely immaculate clean water, and I want absolutely clean air, and we had it. We had H2O. We had the best numbers ever.
We had H2O.
We were using all forms of energy.
Not in my
forms,
city.
Everything.
Not in my town.
Yet, during my 4 years, I had the best environmental numbers ever. And my top environmental people gave me that statistic just before I walked on the stage, actually.
I don't know where the hell he's been. The idea that anything he said is true. I've passed the most extensive climate change legislation in history.
To be fair, Trump really didn't answer the climate change thing. He talked about our clean water and stuff.
$50 billion for HPC.
Joe Biden's on topic. Trump was off topic there, in my opinion. I think so.
The kind of contributors that they have to build these laboratories and the like. Any black student is capable in college of doing what any white student can do. He doesn't have the money, but now they'll be able to get those jobs in high tech. We're in a situation where the idea that he is claiming to have done something that had the cleanest water. He hadn't done a damn thing for the environment. He pulled out of the Paris Peace Accord, Climate Accord. I immediately joined it because if we reach 1.5 degrees Celsius at any one point, where there's no way back, the only existential threat to humanity is climate change. And he didn't do a damn thing about it. He wants to undo all that I've done.
The Paris Accord was going to cost us $1 trillion, and China nothing, and Russia nothing, and India nothing. It was a ripoff of the United States. And I ended it because I didn't want to waste that money because they treat us horribly. We were the only ones who was costing us money. Nobody else was paying into it. And it was a disaster. But everything that he said just now, I'll give you an example. I heard him say before insulin. I'm the one that got the insulin down for the seniors. I took care of the seniors. What he's doing is destroying all of our medical
Joe Biden said he did it.
Migrants coming in, they want everybody. And look, I have the biggest heart on the stage. I guarantee you that. And I want to take care of people. But we're destroying our country. They're taking over our schools, our
That's such a douchey thing to say. I have the biggest heart on the stage.
He is destroying Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid.
The idea is that we, in fact, we were the only ones of consequence who were not members
This
of
is crazy.
the Paris Accord. How can we do anything?
What's up, chat? What's up, everybody? Hit that like button.
Under control. One of the largest polluters in the world. Number one.
I'll play donations in a few minutes.
Progress. By 2035, we will have cut pollution in half. We have made significant progress, and we're continuing to make progress. We set up a climate corps for thousands.
Trump could have
listen.
Neither one of these guys is taking care of everybody. You know what I mean? They could do a lot better. Trump could do a lot better.
The elements of cause of pollution.
And Biden could really do a lot better.
That he claims that he has the biggest heart up here, and he's really concerned about pollution and about climate. I've not seen any indication of that. And by the way, with regard to prescription drugs, one company agreed that they would reduce the price to $35, which I was calling for, one, voluntarily. I made sure every company in the world, every pharmaceutical company, cannot have to pay.
Thank you.
And by the way,
So every day, millions of Americans struggle just to make
And by the
ends
way,
meet. For many older Americans, Social Security provides a critical lifeline.
you had to stop.
President Biden, if nothing is done,
That
to
was
Social
funny. I would have let him say it. Let him
Security,
finish.
will
Come
see their
on. He's the
benefits
fucking
cut
president. Let him
in just
finish.
over 10
For Christ's
years.
sake.
Will you name tonight one specific step that you're willing to take to keep Social Security solvent?
Yes, make the very wealthy begin to pay their fair share. Right now, everybody making under $170,000 pays 6% of their income, their paycheck, every single time they get a paycheck from the time the first one they get when they're 18
I'm paying
years
a
old.
lot more than 6%, Joe. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm proposing that everybody, the millionaires pay 1%. So no one I would not raise the cost of Social Security for anybody under $400,000. After that, I began to make the wealthy.
Oh, he's talking
begin
about
to
Social
pay their fair
Security.
share
Maybe,
by
okay.
Increasing from 1%.
We're talking about
down,
full
be
taxes.
able to guarantee the program for life.
So you still have 82 seconds left. Are there any other measures that you think that would be able to help keep Social Security solvent, or is that one enough?
Well, no, that one enough will keep it solvent. But the biggest thing I'll do if we defeat this man, because he wants to get rid of Social Security. He thinks there's plenty to cut with Social Security. He's wanting to cut Social Security.
I don't think Trump wants. Does Trump want to get rid of Social Security? If he doesn't, then Joe Biden. What is he? Is that another lie or
that he, I believe,
what?
supports,
Let's hear
is
it.
In fact, want to cut it as well. The idea that we don't need to protect our seniors is ridiculous.
Whose idea is it we
By
don't
the
need to
way,
protect seniors?
The American public has greater health care coverage today than ever before. And on the AC, as I said, you're in a circumstance where 400,000 people,
Our health care is the
40
most
million
expensive it's
people will
ever
not have
been right
insurance
now.
because they have a pre-existing condition.
It's
One of the
fucking
laws that
insane.
provide That insurance is the fact that they, in fact, are part of the ACA. And by the way, the other thing
We need to put
in a
caps
situation where
on
we're talking about
medical
education,
charges. Caps
about
on
to
medical
raise
charges.
the amount of money for Pell Grants, another $8,000. So anybody making under $70,000 a year are going to be able to get $15,000 toward their tuition. He just doesn't know what he's talking about.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump.
So I've dealt with politicians all my life. I've been on this side of the equation for the last 8 years. I've never seen anybody lie like this guy. He lies. I've never seen it. He can look you in the face. About so many other things too. And we mentioned the laptop. We mentioned
Bring
Russia,
up Social
Russia,
Security,
Ukraine,
Trump.
Ukraine.
Answer the Social Security
Everything he
question. You
does
got to
is a
do
lie.
it.
It's misinformation.
You
and
got to answer it.
misinformation. The losers and suckers story that he made up is a total lie on the military. It's a disgrace. But Social Security, he's destroying it because millions of people are pouring into our country, and they're putting them onto Social Security. They're putting them onto Medicare, Medicaid. They're putting them in our hospitals. They're taking the place of our citizens. What they're doing to the VA, to our veterans, is unbelievable. Our veterans are living in the street, and these people are living in luxury hotels. He doesn't know what he's doing, and it's really coming back. I've never seen such anger in our country before.
President Biden.
The idea that veterans are not being taken care of, I told you before. And by the way, when I said suckers and losers, he acknowledged after that he fired that general. That general got fired.
For lying.
He's the one that acknowledged that that's what he said. He was the one standing with Trump when he said it, number one. Number two, the idea that we're going to be in a situation where all these millions and millions, the way he talks about it, illegal aliens are coming into the country and taking away our jobs. There's a reason why we have the fastest growing economy in the world, the reason why we have the most successful economy in the world. We're doing better than any other nation in the world. And by the way, those 15 Nobel laureates he talked about being phony, those 15 Nobel laureates, economists, they all said that if Trump is reelected, we're likely to have a recession and inflation.
This is kind of wild.
Go up. And by the way, worst president in history, 159 presidential scholars voted him the worst president in the history of the United States of America.
President Biden, thank you
The
so much.
numbers
Let's turn to the
don't
cost of
tell that
childcare,
story.
Which many American families struggle to afford. President Trump, both you and President Biden have tried to address this issue, but the average cost of childcare in this country has risen to more than $11,000 a year
Damn,
per
Trump is
child for
killing
many families.
Biden tonight.
The cost of
I'm
childcare
shocked.
for 2 children is more than their rent.
I mean, I'm not
In your
shocked,
second
but I mean,
term, what would you do to make
I'm shocked how
childcare more
calm
affordable?
Trump is handling this.
Just to go back, the general got fired because he was no good. And if he said that, that's why he made it up. But we have 19 people that said I didn't say it, and they're very highly respected, much more so than him. The other thing is, he doesn't fire people. He never fired people.
He fired that guy who stole the luggage, the cross-dressing trans guy. He did fire that guy.
At the FBI, drained the swamp. They were no good. Not easier.
Biden did fire that trans man
They were
person.
no good. I inherited these people. I didn't put him there. I didn't put Comey there. He was no good. I fired him. This guy hasn't fired anybody. He never fires. He should have fired every military man that was involved with the Afghanistan horror show, the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country.
I don't think he can fire those people because he's the one that made the decision. It's Biden's fault, probably.
Us to have the worst border in the history of the world. Did anybody get fired for allowing 18 million people, many from prisons, many from mental institutions? Did you fire anybody that allowed our country to be destroyed? Joe, our country is being destroyed as you and I sit up here and waste a lot of time on this debate. This shouldn't be a debate. He is the worst president. He just said about me because I said it. But look, he's the worst president in the history of our country. He's destroyed our country. Now all of a sudden he's trying to get a little tough on the border. He came out with a nothing deal, and it reduced it a little bit, like this much. It's insignificant. He wants open borders. He wants our country to either be destroyed or he wants to pick up those people as voters. And I don't think we just can't let it happen. If he wins this election, our country doesn't have a chance, not even a chance, of coming out of this rut. We probably won't have a country left anymore. That's how bad it is. He is the worst in history by far.
Thank you, President Trump. President Biden?
We're the most admired country in the world. We're the United States of America. There's
We
nothing
used to
beyond
be.
our capacity. We're the finest
We used to be.
military in the history of the world. The finest in the history of the world. No one thinks we're weak. No one wants to screw around.
Yeah,
with
they
us.
do,
Nobody.
because they invaded
Number
Ukraine.
one.
Well,
Number two,
so that's a
the
lie.
idea that we're talking about worst presidents.
No one
I was
thinks
in
we're
Germany.
weak.
Look it up. Go online.
They do.
150.
They think we're fucking out of our minds.
Exact number. Presidential stories.
They think we're all
They had
trans,
meetings, and they
like,
voted
people
who's the worst president in American
who
history.
eat kids.
One from best to worst. They said he was the worst in all of American history. That's a fact. That's not conjecture. He can argue they're wrong, but that's what they voted. The idea
Wow.
that he is doing anything to deal with childcare. He did virtually nothing to childcare. We should significantly increase the childcare tax credit. We should significantly increase the availability of women and men or single parents to be able to go back to work. And we should encourage businesses to hold.
I do agree with the child tax credit going up.
President Trump, the question was about what would you do to make child care more affordable, if you want to take your minute.
Just so you understand, we have polling, we have other things that they rate him the worst because what he's done is so bad. And they rate me, I'll show you, I will show you. And they rate me one of the best.
Biden just said, show me.
And
Trump said,
if
I
I'm
will
given
show you.
Another 4 years, I will be the best. I think I'll be the best. Nobody's ever created an economy like us. Nobody ever cut taxes like us. He's the only one I know. He wants to raise your taxes by 4 times. He wants to raise everybody's taxes by 4 times. He wants the Trump tax cuts to expire. So everybody, including the two of you, are going to pay 4 to 5 times. Nobody ever heard of this before. All my life, I grow up and I see politicians talking about cutting taxes. When we cut taxes, as I said, we did more business. Apple and all these companies, they were bringing money back
Wow.
into our country. The worst president in history by far, and everybody knows it.
President Biden?
Look, the fact of the matter is,
I do
that
wish
they're
Trump would have
wrong
answered the
about
child
it.
care
He's
question. I'm going to give Biden a point.
He will increase
I'm going to give Biden a
the,
point for at least
taxes on
answering that
taxpayers.
question. I liked
I
his
said I'd never
answers,
raise the
actually,
tax if I
and
ran
Trump
again,
did not
less
answer
than
it.
$400,000. I did.
I'm going to give Biden
This
a point
tariff
for
is
that.
2% tariffs. Everything coming into the country, you know what the economists say? That's going to cost the average American $2,500 a year more because they're going to have to pay the difference in food and all the things that we're importing. Number two, he's in a situation where he talks about how
277
he has
votes.
not raised, he somehow helped the middle class. Middle class has been devastated.
Oh my God, Joe Biden is losing to everything on the poll. Holy shit.
Which is going to fundamentally bankrupt the country. You have the largest deficit of any president in American history, number one. Number two, you have not, in fact, made any contact, any progress with China. We are the lowest trade deficit with China since 2010.
Thank you, President Biden.
You lost
Thank you, President Biden. Let's discuss an epidemic impacting millions of Americans that both of you have made a top priority in your first term, the opioid crisis. And for both of you, the number of overdose deaths in this country has gone up. Under your term, it went up. Under your term, it has gone up. Former President Trump, despite the efforts that both of you have made, more than 100,000 Americans are dying from overdoses every year, primarily from fentanyl and other opioids. What will you do to help Americans right now in the throes of addiction who are struggling to get the treatment they need?
To finish up, we now have the largest deficit in the history of our country under this guy.
This is crazy.
We have the largest deficit with China. He gets paid by China. He's a Manchurian candidate. He gets money from China. So I think he's afraid to deal with them or something. But do you notice he never took out my tariffs because we bring in so much money with the tariffs that I imposed on China. He never took them away. He can't because it's too much money. It's tremendous. And we saved our steel industries, and there was more to come. But he hasn't done that. But he hasn't cut the tariffs because he can't, because it's too much money. But he's got the largest deficit in the history of our country, and he's got the worst situation with China. China's going to own us if you keep allowing them to do what they're doing to us as a country. They are killing us as a country, Joe, and you can't let that happen. You're destroying our country.
So, President Trump, you have 67 seconds left. The question was, what are you going to do to help Americans in the throes of addiction right now who are struggling to get the treatment they need?
Jake, we're doing very well at addiction until the COVID came along. We had the 2.5, almost 3 years of like nobody's ever had before, any country, in every way. And then we had to get tough. And it was the drugs pouring across the border it started to increase. We got great equipment. We bought the certain dog that's the most incredible thing that you've ever seen, the way they can spot it. We did a lot. And we were getting very low numbers, very, very low numbers. Then he came along. The numbers, have you seen the numbers now? It's not.
I wish Trump would answer some of the questions more directly instead of going back to some of the things Biden said.
Ways.
I know he can't help himself, but
the amount of drugs and human trafficking in women coming across our border, the worst thing I've ever seen. At numbers
pounding the border is a good idea, and make no mistake, but
the number of drugs coming across our border now is
China.
The largest we've ever had by far.
President Trump, thank you. President Biden?
Fentanyl and the byproducts of fentanyl went down for a while. And I wanted to make sure we used the machinery that can detect fentanyl. These big machines that roll over everything that comes across the border. And it costs a lot of money. That was part of this deal we put together, this bipartisan deal. More fentanyl machines, more be able to detect drugs, more numbers of agents, more numbers of all people at the border. And when we had that deal done, he called his Republican colleagues and said, don't do it. It's going to hurt me politically. No, he never argued it's not a good bill. It's a really good bill. We need those machines. We need those machines. And we're coming down very hard in every country in Asia in terms of precursors for fentanyl. And Mexico is working with us to make sure they don't have the technology to be able to put it together. That's what we have to do. We need those machines.
Thank you, President Biden. Now, President Trump, and again, the question is about Americans in the throes of addiction right now struggling to get the
I'm surprised what a kind of a beatdown.
He ended Remain in Mexico. He ended catch and release. I made it catch and release in Mexico, not catch and release here. We had so many things that we had done, hard negotiations with Mexico, and I got it all for nothing. It's just like when you have a hostage. We always pay $6 billion for a hostage. Every time we say a hostage. Now we have a hostage, a Wall Street Journal reporter.
I wish they would talk about going and getting the hostages in Gaza.
Because Putin is laughing at this guy, probably asking for billions of dollars for the reporter.
We got to get the hostages in Gaza.
Very quickly, as soon as I take office, before I take office, I said, as soon as I win the election, I will have that reporter out. He should have had him out a long time ago. But Putin's probably asking for billions and billions of dollars because this guy pays it every time. We had 2 cases where we paid $6 billion for 5 people. I got 58 people out, and I paid essentially nothing.
Thank you, President Trump. Dana?
Well, he's looking for terrorists or political prisoners is what he wants.
President Biden, you would be 86 at the end of your second term. How do you address concerns about your capability to handle the toughest job in the world well into your 80s.
I've already done it. That's what he's going to say.
First of all, I spent half my career being criticized as being the youngest person in politics. I was the second youngest person ever elected to the United States Senate, and now I'm the oldest. This guy's 3 years younger and a lot less competent. I think that just look at the record. Look at what I've done. Look, I've turned around the horrible situation.
That's not the perception.
As I said, 15 million new jobs, 800,000 manufacturing jobs, more investment in America, over billions of dollars in private investment.
The jobs that came back because of COVID. So you can't take credit for
By
that.
the way, we brought off a lot of people. Well, the whole idea of computer chips, we used to have 40% of the market. We invented those chips, and we lost it because he was sending people to find the cheapest jobs overseas and to bring home a product. So I went to South Korea. I convinced Samsung to invest billions of dollars here in the United States, and they're
Joe Biden's state is the one that gives all the companies the tax breaks.
To build these chips. Those fabs pay over
In Delaware, look it up.
You don't need a college degree for them. And there's billions, about $40 billion already being invested and being built right now in the United States.
Helps generate the economy, though.
Significant jobs for Americans from all over the world.
President Biden, you have 40 seconds left. Would you like to add anything?
Yeah, I would. The idea that somehow we are this failing country. I never heard a president talk like this before.
Because it's never been this bad, really.
Name me a single major country president who wouldn't trade places with the United States of America for all our problems and all our opportunities. We're the most progressive country in the world in getting things done. We're the strongest country in the world. We're a country in the world who keeps our word, and everybody trusts us.
What?
Our allies and our those who he calls up to from.
Everybody
China,
trusts
who he
us.
sends love letters to Putin, etc. They don't want to screw around with us.
Thank you. Former President Trump, to follow up, you would be 82 at the end of
Jesus.
your second term. What do you say to voters who have concerns about your capabilities to serve?
Well, I took 2 tests, cognitive tests. I aced them, both of them, as you know. We made it public. He took none. I'd like to see him take one, just one, a real easy one. Like go through the first 5 questions, you couldn't do it. I took 2 cognitive tests.
False flag incoming. Yeah, there's going to be a false flag attack, guys. Get ready.
We knock on wood.
Russia said that we were going to do that.
I'm in very good health.
If you believe Russia. I mean, you can't really believe them.
Not even senior. 2 regular club championships. To do that, you have to be quite smart, and you have to be able to hit the ball a long way. And I do it. He doesn't do it. He can't hit a ball 50 yards. He challenged me to a golf match. He can't hit a ball 50 yards. I think I'm in very good shape. I feel that I'm as in good a shape as I was 25, 30 years ago. Actually, I'm probably a little bit lighter, but I'm in as good a shape as I was years ago. I feel very good. I feel the same. But I was willing to take a cognitive test. And you know what? If I didn't do well, I aced them. Dr. Ronnie Jackson, who's a great guy when he was White House doctor. And then I took another one, a similar one. And one of them said they'd never seen anybody ace him.
Thank you.
You can see he is 6'5" and only 223 pounds, or 235 pounds. Well, you said 6'4", 200. Well, anyway, that's what you're. Anyway, just take a look at what he says he is, and take a look at what he is. Look,
What?
I'd be happy to have a driving contest with him. The reason I got my handicap, which when I was
Biden
vice
wants to have a
president,
driving
I was
contest.
6.
Let's have it.
And by the way, I told you before, I'm happy to play golf if you carry your own bag. Think you can do it?
That's the biggest rival. He's a 6 handicap of all.
I was at 8 handicap.
Yeah.
8.
I've seen you swing. I know you swing.
Okay, let's
not act like children.
President Trump, we're going to move
Let's not act like children.
to a specific concern that voters have. about
Jesus Christ. These guys are devolving into kids on the
you.
playground.
All legal
What the
challenges have been
fuck
exhausted,
just happened,
and you
dude?
will accept
I have a bigger
the
dick than
result of
you.
this election, regardless of who wins.
Wow.
And we will say right now that political violence in any form is unacceptable.
How terrible was
I
that?
shouldn't have to say that.
That's
but of course
embarrassing.
I believe that. It's totally
I could go to the
unacceptable.
golfing range. You
And
could go to the
if you would see
golfing
my
range.
statements that I made on Twitter at the time, and also my statement that I made in the Rose Garden, you would say it's one of the strongest statements you've ever seen. In addition to the speech I made in front of, I believe, the largest
This is the
crowd
most
I've ever
white
spoken to,
privilege
and I will tell you,
conversation ever.
Nobody ever talks about that. They talk about a relatively small number of people that went to the Capitol, and in many cases were ushered in by the police. And as Nancy Pelosi said, it was her responsibility, not mine. She said that loud and clear. But the answer is, if the election is fair, free, and I want that more.
I like
than
how they
anybody.
turned his mic back
And
on.
I'll tell you something. I wish he was a great president, because I wouldn't be here right now. I'd be at one of my many places enjoying myself. I wouldn't be under indictment because I wouldn't have been his political opponent, because he indicted me because I was his opponent. I wish he was a great president. I would rather have that. I wouldn't be here. I don't mind being here. The only reason I'm here is he's so bad as a president that I'm going to make America great again. We're going to make America great again. We're a failing nation right now. We're a seriously failing nation. And we're a failing nation because of him. His policies are so bad. His military policies are insane.
Trump's repeating again,
They're
but
insane. These are wars that will never end with him. He will drive us into World War III, and we're closer to World War III than anybody can imagine. We are very, very close to World War III, and he's driving us there. And Kim Jong-un and President Xi of China, Kim Jong-un of North Korea, all of these, Putin, they don't respect him. They don't fear him. They have nothing going with this gentleman, and he's going to drive us into World War III.
You want a World War III, let him follow and win, and let Putin say, do what you want, NATO. Just do what you want.
that's what they said in 2016 about Trump.
Attack on one is attack on all, and required response. The idea, I can't think of a single major leader in the world who wouldn't trade places with the job I've done and what they've done. Because we are a powerful nation. We have wonderful people. It's because of the people, not me. It's because of the American people. They're capable of anything, and they step up when they're needed. And right now, we're needed. We're needed to protect the world because our own safety is at stake. And again, you want to have a war, just let Putin go ahead and take Kyiv, make sure they move on, see what happens in Poland, Hungary, and other places along that border. Then you have a war.
President Trump, as I come back to you for a follow-up, the question was, will you accept the results of this election, regardless of who wins?
Just to finish what he said, if I might, Russia, they took a lot of
Wow.
land from Bush. They took a lot of land from Obama and Biden. They took no land, nothing from Trump, nothing. He knew not to do it. He's not going to play games with me. He knew that. I got along with him very well, but he knew not to play games. He took nothing from me. Now
Wow.
he's going to take the whole thing from this man right here. That's a war that should have never started. It would have never started ever with me. And he's going to take Ukraine. And, you know, you asked me a question before, would you do this? He's got us in such a bad position right now with Ukraine and Russia, because Ukraine's not winning that war. He said, I will never settle until such time. They're running out of people. They're running out of soldiers. They've lost so many people. It's so sad. They've lost so many people, and they've lost those gorgeous cities
Oh, my
with the
God.
golden domes that are 1,000 years old, all because of him and stupid decisions. Russia would have never attacked.
I vote for Joe
President
Biden.
Trump, the question was, will you accept the results of the election?
Thank you, Hermano
regardless
Nero.
of who wins? Yes or
Vote
no?
for me, Hermano.
If it's a fair and legal and
Thank
good
you.
election, absolutely. I would have much rather accepted
Hermano.
these, but the
Buenos noches.
fraud and everything else was ridiculous. And if you want, we'll have a news conference on it in a week, or we'll have another one of these in a week. But I will absolutely, there's nothing I'd rather do. It would be much easier for me to do that than I'm running again. I wasn't really going to run until I saw the horrible job he did. He's destroying our country. I would be very happy to be someplace else, in a nice location someplace. And again, no indictments, no political opponent stuff, because it's the only way he thinks he can win.
Wow.
But unfortunately,
Trump is
it's
killing
driven up
this.
by numbers and driven them up to a very high level because the people understand it.
Let's see what your numbers are when this election is over. Let's see.
Yeah,
You
we'll
won.
see after you.
When you lost the first time, you continued, you appealed and appealed to courts all across the country. Not one
I'm giving Trump a
single
point
court
for that.
in America said any of your claims had any merit, state or local, none. But you continue to provoke this lie about somehow there was all this misrepresentation, all this stealing. There is no evidence of that at all. And I
That's
tell you what,
not
I doubt whether you'll accept it.
100% true, but I'm going to give Biden a point for
The
that.
idea, if you lose again, you accept anything, you can't stand the loss. Something snapped in you when you lost the last time.
We'll be right back. With more from the CNN presidential
Give Biden a
debate,
point for that, too.
live from
Gave
Philadelphia.
Trump a point for his before. Give Biden a point for that. We got another break coming up here. CNN's covering it. You guys can watch it on CNN with me if you want to. And we got Wayne's World, baby. Dropping a super chat.
I'ma leave this briefcase right here. I'ma leave this briefcase right here.
It's Wayne's World. Wayne's World. Party time. Excellent.
Run, run, you fat bitch. Run, 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 you fat bitch. Run, 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 you fat bitch. Run, 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 you fat bitch.
Boom, boom, boom,
Run, you fucking fat bitch.
boom, 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 boom.
Don't you think I'm a fucking terrorist?
Boom,
You fat bitch.
boom, boom. Yo, Wayne's World.
Never run so hot in all your
That's the biggest dono of the stream. Thank you, Wayne's World. Look at the big titties run away. Right now, I have Trump winning 11-4 as far as points go. But that's my opinion. You might have a different one. Feel free to let me know in the chat or vote on the poll. Who is winning this debate? Regardless of if you love or hate Trump or like or hate Biden. Can't imagine many people love Biden. But looking at the poll, Joe Biden, this is crazy. Regardless of who and what you are politically out there, we love you. I'm a former full-on liberal Democrat who is now pretty much an independent. So that's me. But you might be out there flip-flopping all over the place. I don't know. I'm somebody who always stuck to Democrats. So I just stuck to Democrats my whole life. So, but not now. So, I'm a little bit different now. So it's very weird for me to be here, to be feeling this way. Very weird for me. But who's winning the debate? Trump. 66% of you see what I see, because I'm giving Trump this is winning this debate and probably gonna win it here. Joe Biden at 6%. That is 5% now. Is Joe Biden is losing to I don't know and I don't care. Individually losing to those both. That is crazy. You would think a poll like this, it would be like, at least it would be Trump, like, Trump 40%, Biden 20% or something, or like 50-40 or 60-40 or 70-30. It's not even near that. This is crazy. What is going on? And I know for a fact, I have polled my audience several times over the years. And I will tell you this, 60% of my audience now is right-leaning. When I first started this show, 65 to 70% of my audience was left-leaning. So I will say my audience right now is leaning right, 60% right, or mixed and independent, and then the rest left. So there is an advantage. We know that there's an advantage for my audience leaning a little bit right at this time compared to years ago where it leaned left. But this is unbelievable to see that number. We're back.
Make sure that we have a fair tax system. I ask anyone out there in the audience, or anyone out watching this debate, do you think the tax system is fair? The fact is that I said nobody even making under $400,000 had a single penny increase in their taxes, and will not. And if I'm reelected, that'll be the case again. But this guy has increased your taxes because of the deficit, number one. He's increased inflation because of the debacle he left after the way he handled the pandemic. And he finds himself in a position where he now wants to tax you more by putting a 10% tariff on everything that comes into the United States of America. What I did, for example, he wants to get away with...
He wants to tax China more.
Medicare for the ability for us to be able to negotiate drug prices with the big pharma.
Oh, my God, Biden.
Well, guess what? We got to We got it down to $35 for insulin instead of $400. No more than $2,000.
I think
for every
Biden helped
senior,
and Trump
no
did
matter
as
what
well.
How much
With the
prescription
insulin.
they need. You know what that did? That reduced the federal debt by $160 billion over 10 years because the government doesn't have to pay the exorbitant prices. I'm going to make that available to every senior all along. It's happening now, and everybody
can't
in
speak.
America. He wants to get rid of that. I'm going to make sure that we have Childcare. We're going to significantly increase the credits that people have for Childcare. I'm going to make sure.
I
we
like
do
that by
something
Joe
about
Biden.
What we're doing on lead pipes and all the things that are causing health problems for people across the country. We're going to continue to fight to bring down inflation and give people a break.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump, you now have 2 minutes for your closing
That
statement.
ending was good.
Like so many politicians, this man is just a complainer. He said, we want to do this, we want to do that, we want to get rid of this tax, that tax. But he doesn't do anything. All he does is make our country unsafe by allowing millions and millions of people to pour in. Our military doesn't respect him. We look like fools in Afghanistan. We didn't stop Israel. It was such a horrible thing that would have never happened. It should have never happened. Iran was broke. Anybody that did business with Iran, including China, they couldn't do business with the United States. They all
We gave the
passed.
money to
was
Iran
broke.
to attack
They had
Israel.
No money for Hamas or Hezbollah, for terror, no money whatsoever. Again, Ukraine should have never happened. He talks about all this stuff, but he didn't do it. For 3.5 years, we're living in hell. We have the Palestinians and we have everybody else rioting all over the place. You talk about Charlottesville. This is 100 times Charlottesville, 1,000 times. The whole country is exploding because of you, because they don't respect you, and they have to respect their president, and they don't respect you throughout the world. What we did was incredible. We rebuilt the military. We got the largest tax cut in history, the largest regulation cut in history. The reason he's got jobs is because I cut the regulations that gave jobs, but he's putting a lot of those regulations back on. All of the things that we've done, nobody's never seen anything like. Even from a medical standpoint, right to try, where we can try space-age materials instead of going to Asia or going to Europe and trying to get when you're terminally ill. Now you can go and you can get something. You sign a document. They've been trying to get it for 42 years. But you know what we did for the military was incredible. Choice for our soldiers, where our soldiers, instead of waiting for 3 months to see a doctor, can go out and get themselves fixed up and readied up and take care of themselves, and they're living. And that's why I had the highest approval rating in the history of the VA. So all of these things, we're in a failing nation, but it's not going to be failing anymore. We're going to make it great again.
Thank you, former President Trump.
Wow, I think Trump's
President
was
Biden,
way better. I'm going to give
stay
Trump a
with
final
us
point
because
for
we
that.
have full
Biden was all
analysis
over
of
the
this
place.
debate. Anderson Cooper and Aaron Burnett starts now on CNN.
Wow. I think Biden was all over the place with his ending. Wouldn't it be great if they just fought each other right now? They're just standing there. Now Trump's looking around awkwardly. Biden looked a little over at him. I want to see what they do. I wish they would have kept that to see where Trump and Biden, what they did. Because that was the most interesting thing. They're both, Jill's walking over to hug Joe, and Trump just walked away from the stage, basically. So that's what happened, in case you didn't see it. Wow. Okay. Well, that was something. That was, it was kind of a beatdown, to be honest. Like, you got to be honest. That was a beatdown of Biden. It was just a beatdown. Now, Biden is meeting with the moderators with Jill. Trump just walked out of there. Wow.
A wide and a very aggressive panic in the Democratic Party. It started minutes into the debate, and it continues right now. It involves party strategists, it involves elected officials, it involves fundraisers. And they're having conversations about the president's performance, which they think was dismal, which they think will hurt other people down the party
in the ticket, and they're having conversations about what they should do about it.
Wow.
Some of those conversations include, should we go to the White House and ask the president to step aside?
Other of the conversations are about, should prominent Democrats go public with that
Wow.
call? because they feel this debate was so terrible. They do say in moments in the debate,
wow,
later, the president got
CNN.
better and got his footing, but then at the end,
CNN called the debate terrible for
the
Biden.
contrast between the two candidates. Let me be clear. None of them, and a lot of Republicans,
Wow.
don't think Donald Trump had a great night. Donald Trump broke the fact-check machine more than I can count tonight. That will be on the record as we go forward. He refused to answer some very specific and direct questions about his conduct, about January 6th and what all. So that will be dealt with out there. And sometimes there's a parallel universe between the political elites and the American people. It'd be nice to see what the voters say. But I can tell you, it started minutes in. It started with the first couple of answers, and it has continued throughout the night from a, oh, my God, oh, my God, oh, my God, to what do we do about this?
They're trying to put someone else in the office. That's what this is. They put Biden out there on purpose so they could do this.
What John is saying.
They're going to get rid of Biden and try to get somebody else in there.
It's not like anything that I have heard in this campaign so far. And a lot of it has to do with, first of all, there was a deep frustration about Trump's lies. I mean, he lied a lot tonight. But the problem for Biden...
He lied a lot tonight? Joe Biden lied a lot. What the fuck are they talking about? See, this is why you can't take CNN seriously. I wouldn't say Trump lied a bunch. Trump did a lot of dodging at certain times. Trump did a lot of dodge and spin tonight. See, they can't even be fair. I'll tell you what happened. Trump did a lot of spin and dodge, and he threw out some things that weren't necessarily 100% fact, but Joe Biden blatantly was quoting lies about Trump. So it's like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about? See, this is where CNN's nuts, out of their minds. Did Trump say some lies? Yeah. Did he spin a bunch of stuff? Yeah. Like, did he avoid some questions? Yeah. But Joe Biden, like, blatantly, I can count 6 or 7 straight up crazy lies he said about Trump. Things that didn't happen. Like, it was like, boom. Like, he nailed him with these things. Hey, B. I got it for you. Yeah, come here. Come give me a hug. So come here, give me a hug. So watch out for that plate. So he lied, and he's the one that lied. But they both did in some ways. But you know, you okay? Love you. You just wake up. You saw it in the freezer?
Yeah.
I got it for you. I love you. You okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Love
Is
you.
there any foods?
No, just the macaroni I made you earlier. But if you want something else, I'll be up in a few. Okay. Oh, careful of your hair in that fan. Suck up your hair. Yeah, so this feels almost like they wanted this to happen so they could be like, and they also featured Gavin Newsom at the beginning of the show. So I'm wondering if their plan is to put Gavin Newsom in at the beginning. So he was featured.
Shit bomb.
Whoa.
This was all planned. CNN let Trump slaughter Biden to usher in a new candidate to replace Joe Biden before the Democratic convention. Done planned.
Yeah, it really feels like that. This is crazy. They literally had Gavin Newsom on the pre-show for like 30 minutes or an hour or something, and he was basically being featured like, look how good this guy is. Oh, my God, bro. And I told you that Gavin Newsom would be the next president for the Democrats. I told you this 4 years ago. I said that. I'm telling you guys, go watch CNN. They opened up with an hour of Gavin Newsom, all about him. And now they're coming out saying, like, this was a slaughter and he's not fit, and you know the White House needs to be contacted and stuff like that. Dude, they're going to roll out Newsom. I'm telling you, this is so obvious. Oh my God, bro. I think Alex Jones reported this months ago too, but I mean, I've said it, so it's like it's like obvious, bro. They're gonna roll out Newsom. It's gonna happen. This is crazy. It's going to happen finally. I'm shocked. Hermano Nero, thank you for the $1.99. Wayne's World with the $19.99, and Alex Oli. This was all planned. I might be, man. It feels planned, bro. That's weird.
So there's a real concern here tonight that there's been some real damage done that cannot be undone.
Oh, yeah.
Biden solidified the perception among voters, but especially among his base. They were hoping that tonight would be a game changer. They are now seeing a president who is in the White House, who they do not...
What's up?
Can I say something?
Okay, say something.
Like in the mic?
Okay, as long as it's not bad.
Okay.
Well, okay. You are related to me.
Necessarily believe can do this for another 4 years.
David Axelrod?
Look,
Jesus
I
Christ.
can't argue
It's about what I thought of that debate we just saw.
with either of them about how Democratic leaders are reacting to this poll. We said at the beginning that each person had a fundamental goal, and for Biden,
This is going to be the worst candidate to ever
appear
run for
energetic,
Democrats in my life.
engaged, and look like someone who is capable of serving for another 4 years for president.
This is worse than John Kerry. You know, if you like of Democratic liberal, you know, and I voted for John Kerry, by the way. Like, I voted for John Kerry. This is worse than. This is the worst running Democrat we've ever had. In my lifetime. I don't know about other. Maybe there was one in the 80s. I was too young. I don't remember. In fact, I don't remember. I just remember Reagan. You know, this has got to be the worst. It's got to be the worst. Like, bro, I think Ross Perot would beat Biden. You know, if he was running against Biden, like he would beat. I think would beat Joe Biden nowadays today. Yo, Wayne's World, thank you for the donation, man. Hey, Wayne's World, appreciate it, bro. Trump won this bitch. There is no doubt about it. I mean, not only am I saying it, you saying it, everybody's saying it, the poll's saying it, CNN's saying it because they want to run somebody else, obviously. Trump won this debate. Everybody knows it, regardless. I mean, 5% of the people out there, I guess, don't know it, but, I mean, those numbers are pretty dead on. You know, and that doesn't mean that Trump, you know, I'm not saying that if you're a Democrat that, Trump should be president. This is great. But if you're a Democrat, you're like, we got to run somebody else. Like, you got to run somebody else. You have got to run somebody else. Like that if you're a Democrat, you got to be thinking that. You have to be thinking that. Is it too late to run somebody else? And this feels planned by CNN, by the way. This feels so planned, dude. Oh, my God, bro. Oh, my God, brother. This was crazy. How do you guys feel about this debate? Let me know. This is crazy.
With the COVID, with dealing with everything we have to do with, look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President.
Oh, my God, that's hilarious, dude. Did you see this?
With the COVID, with dealing with everything we have to do with, look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President.
What the fudge? Oh, my God, dude. This country is effed. Oh, my God. We are a joke. Yeah, Trump's mean words about what people think about the country. That's the problem. Oh, my God, bro. Wow. That was unreal to see an American president. Amy Schumer says she'll move to London if Trump wins. Yeah, sure you will. Like all the other cunts who said they would leave when Trump won the first time. Yeah, sure thing, fatty. Okay? I don't think so. I don't think so, fatty.
Shit bomb.
It will be Newsom, Kamala Harris, California scum.
Yeah, California scum could run America. That would be great, wouldn't it be? Wouldn't it be great to have Kamala Harris, the one who loves putting black people in jail for labor, and then Newsom, who loves a failed state of shit in the streets, drug addicts, and just a fucking debauchery and child molestation. It'd just be great. It'd be so great. The Californians.
$9 for a fuck. Someone
John Wills.
I'm getting hard. I got 9 inches inside of your wife. $9. I'm shooting my semen to the ceiling. I'm coming and my balls have turned blue. $9. Suck my dick.
Fuck this debate, fuck Joe Biden, fuck Donald Trump, fuck this country, I wanna fucking die, hashtag I wanna kill myself. By the way, Joe, you should check out Kyle Clark, he should have been a better moderator than Jake Tapper and Dana Bash.
Well, no, John Wills, they had to put in the guy from the CIA who lied about all that stuff about Trump. They had to put that guy on as the moderator of the panel. Don't you know that? They had to put that lady in there. Her husband is the guy who lied about Hunter Biden's laptop, so they had to put him in there. He lied about Hunter Biden's laptop, so they had to put her as the moderator. So John, thank you. By the way, John, thank you for the $9, man. Love you, bro. We are pretty screwed, it feels like. But yeah, they're not going to put someone who's a good moderator in. Why would they ever do that? They need to put in somebody who lied about Hunter Biden's laptop. Don't you know that? Come on. Where's the video of that? I think Jimmy Dore might have had a video on it. I mean, I know about it, but here it is.
Far left.
Oh my God,
No
they're so
kidding.
far left.
Far left would mean they actually cared about workers and the people, and they told the truth about the establishment and the war machine. They are the establishment. They are not far left.
That was Dana Bash's husband?
Yes. So
Wow.
So CNN will host the first presidential debate on Thursday night but
CNN didn't even have a chance to manipulate this because they didn't really want to manipulate it. I think the goal was to make Biden look bad. And CNN didn't need to manipulate anything because they just let Biden speak for himself, and that's not good. So they didn't need to manipulate much. In fact, at one point when Biden was fighting at Trump and yelling at Trump, they actually turned Trump's mic on. Like, he's arguing with you and you're arguing back and forth, but nobody can hear Trump. So CNN turned Trump's fucking mic on at one point.
Trump haters Jake Tapper and Dana Bash will moderate the debate. There's no word yet if CNN has leaked the questions early to Joe Biden's camp like they did for Hillary Clinton, because they did do that.
I mean, they're gonna.
Yeah, they leaked the questions to Hillary Clinton on instead of Bernie Sanders the last time, so we know these people will lie. They ruined Bernie Sanders' chance, lied and stole it from Bernie Sanders, so there's no reason why they wouldn't have done it here tonight to Joe Biden. It's for Joe Biden to Trump.
Victoria's 51.
The lady who was the moderator tonight, her husband is one of the Secret Service or CIA people who lied about the Hunter Biden laptop, even though it's proven that they admitted now it wasn't Russian disinformation, it was real. Just like the Russian story that Trump colluded with Russia and the dossier, that was all fake, and then they had to admit that. And this is why people don't believe Joe Biden and why people don't believe the left right now. This is why people like me don't fucking believe our old party. People don't believe it because they lied to us and lied to you and keep lying about crazy things. Not about like I won, I'm the best. Not about those things. They lie to you and us about real crazy shit. Not about grabbing her by the pussy.
51 liars from the intel community who signed a letter in 2020 claiming...
Listen to this again. Listen to this again.
Jeremy Bash is... So Dana Bash's husband, Jeremy Bash, is one of the notorious 51 liars from the intel community who signed a letter in 2020 claiming the Hunter Biden laptop was Russian disinformation.
51? Wow,
Yeah.
one more liar, and they got a nice deck of 52 like the Iraq War to collect when Trump wins, I hope.
So this guy obviously knew it was a lie. He's this guy right there.
Yeah, look at
Spies who lied. Look at all the lies.
Look at
Spies.
these ugly assholes here, by the way. Look at these repulsive
So
people.
I said, why would Trump agree to a debate moderator whose husband was one of the 51 intelligence community members who lied and said Hunter's laptop was Russian disinformation? Just watch the very stunning video below, and it's clear that he was lying to swing the election. Trump should at least bring this up at the debate and expose how the deep state and corporate...
It's too bad he didn't. He should have, but it's too bad he didn't. But then again, they are the moderators, so I don't know.
Media lied nonstop about Russia and Russiagate to swing an election.
Dana, your husband lied. He's a liar. I know it. We know it. Dana Bash.
This looks like Russian intelligence. This walks
him.
like Russian intelligence. This talks like Russian intelligence.
That's the guy who's married to the CNN moderator, the lady from tonight.
This effort by Rudy Giuliani and the New York Post and Steve Bannon to cook up supposed dirt on Joe Biden looks like a classic Russian playbook disinformation campaign.
Classic, dude.
Classic.
Classic.
Matt Orpheus says that this guy lied so much about Hunter Biden's laptop that it deserves its own video. Let's watch.
This effort by Rudy Giuliani and the New York Post looks like a classic Russian playbook disinformation campaign with known ties to Russian intelligence. And Russian intelligence, a known Russian intelligence operative by Russian intelligence through a Russian intelligence operation, welcoming a Russian intelligence operation, this lame Russian disinformation campaign from Russia. This looks like Russian intelligence. This walks like Russian intelligence. This talks like Russian intelligence. This sounds like Russian intelligence. Russian intelligence, Russian disinformation. Russian intelligence. Every intelligence professional I've been talking to, Mika, says this is a Russian intelligence disinformation campaign.
Hey, Bash family, I hate you more than Russia by a lot.
So that guy knew he was lying, and he was allowed on CNN and MS. He's allowed everywhere to lie. And why was he lying? He was lying to swing an election.
Yeah.
So, that guy's a liar, and they had to admit to that was a lie. So that guy, that is some crazy shit, because that guy's wife was the moderator tonight. So it's just so goofy. Like, it's so weird, man. Like, these people are all connected. Very strange. Just very, very weird and strange. Ba-ba-da-doo-doo-doo-doo. Oh, can I share my thing publicly? I don't know. Maybe I can. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm doing one of those. I like St. Jude's Hospital, so if anybody's well, I'll put it out later. Never mind. I'll send it out later. My bad. What's up, John?
Shit bum.
Hollyfuck PBD has 101k people watching him live.
I don't know who that is, but that's crazy. Alex Oli, actually, I thought we'd have more people tuning in here, to be honest. I mean, we have a great amount. I mean, there's a lot of people watching. We've had over, 2,000 people stop by tonight so far, but yeah, I'm surprised there wasn't more, but good Lord. They're basically saying Joe Biden is going to be replaced on CNN. Bro, this is all theater. This is all an act.
If Trump comes, my country India is doomed. India is already in the cusp of dictatorship, a government backed by businessmen.
If Trump comes, my country India is doomed. India is already in the cusp of dictatorship. Yeah, I mean, I don't think Trump's great for India 100%. I don't know, though, but what do you mean if he comes? Like, if he comes? Was that Prayesh Muhamdar? Prayesh Muhamdar, we love you, brother. And you might be right, but he's no good for us. He's really bad for us, man. Like, I don't know. Hopefully Trump will still work well with India, but yeah, I know what you mean. It's not good for you guys, but it's really bad for us. For right now, for what's going on, we got to get somebody else out there. But the Democrats are. I told you, man. I told you, like, dude, they had Gavin Newsom on for like an hour today. They were featuring him. It was a test. It was a test. Haystacks Monet just gifted 5 memberships. Holy shit, guys. Can you guys click that like button? Novanix got one. I hope, Novanix, you're okay, man, if you're listening at some point. Oh, my God. Because he's been going through some shit, man. I hope he's all right, man. Rapist! Janelle got a membership as well. Yeah, I mean, the bottom line is we got to worry about the U.S. first, Prayesh Muhamdar. I know that it's not great for you guys necessarily, maybe, but, like, we've just got to, like, bro, we've got to worry about ourselves right now so badly that I can't think about it right now, but hey, you guys got to clean some things up too, but.
Come on out, you rapist! Come on out, you rapist! We're getting subs. Come on out, you rapist! We're getting subs.
Halloween all year entertainment got a sub, man. Hell yeah, bro. Oh man, that was, I cannot believe that was a just destruction. I mean, I felt like I was even giving Joe like credit.
Hey, Bullfrog is
extra
a
credit.
moron.
John Wills.
Scissor me, Joe!
My boyfriend is a leftist liberal. I can't stand his hypocrisy. We're getting married soon and want to have kids.
Oh.
We've been ejaculating inside each for a while now and still neither of us have gotten pregnant. Any advice?
Stick it in the other hole. That's my advice. Stick it in the other hole.
I'm gonna leave this briefcase right here. I'm gonna leave this briefcase right
Allison
here.
Tuckwa.
I'm gonna leave this briefcase right here.
Here's Allison.
I'm gonna leave this briefcase right here. I'm gonna leave this briefcase right here. Son, run, you fat bitch. Run, you fat bitch. Run, you fat bitch. Run, you fat bitch. Run, you fucking fat bitch. Don't you think I'm a fucking terrorist? Run, you fat bitch.
We may be joined by President Trump, or former President Trump, on this show tonight, guys.
Never run so hard in all your damn life. Run, you fat bitch.
This is easy win for Trump. For Joe Biden to run against Trump, fight against him for run. They can just pull him out. He's not healthy even run. He will automatically have to step down. Who's on there?
Allison, you are 100% right, I believe. Allison, you're so right. They're going to put Gavin Newsom in there. They're going to run, or Kamala or Newsom, one of them.
Man, politics is horrible, especially now. All the education we had in our learning days is becoming null and void. It's all ego, common people gets used.
Well, I would argue that's always been the way it is, but it is really bad right now, Prayesh Mumdar. No, there's no doubt about it. It's really bad right now. It's not good. And it's too bad because when America was doing so well, I feel like you said, like other economies are doing well as well, but we're so bad right now that it's just getting worse. And now we have to think about ourselves first more than ever. And so that's going to hurt other economies like yours. And I think you're going to see that probably happen. Joe Biden will not beat Donald Trump without cheating, in my opinion. It's my very, very obvious opinion that Donald Trump cannot beat Joe Biden without cheating. I mean, that Joe Biden can't beat Trump without cheating. At this point, this is terrible. Like he's done. Anybody with a brain can see this. This guy is done. Tonight was the nail in the coffin. Before it was the polls and it's not looking good and they got to figure something out and Biden's kind of a mess. It's really bad. Country's a shithole. All this stuff. But bro, this was boom. One fucking nail. Dude, Joe Biden isn't beating I don't know and I don't care on the fucking poll. My audience is fairly split. Joe Biden isn't beating I don't know and don't care. Don't care is beating Joe Biden. I don't know yet is beating Joe Biden. And Trump has 69%.
I've been going to wrestling shows for over 30 years.
Jesus
Never
Christ.
In all that time have I ever felt, until last Sunday, that my security, my safety, my life was in danger at a wrestling show.
Come on out, you rapist, rapist, rapist. Rape Tommy. Rape Tommy. Rape Tommy. Must rape Tommy.
Come, Mr. Rapist, come on my banana. Daylight come, and the rapist go home. Man Juice, thank you for the... Man Juice. Allison Tuckwab, thank you for the super chats. Allison, we love you. Great point, Allison. Just a really good take. Man Juice as well. Thank you for the $3. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't believe it, but... Wow. This is crazy. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. We're going to be joined by Donald J. Trump. Ladies and gentlemen, fresh off the debate. Fresh off the debate with... the shell of a man, President Joe Biden. It is former President Donald J. Trump joining us here live. Thank you, sir, for calling up not only to this radio station, but we're broadcasting on everywhere, all over YouTube and Twitch and everywhere else. It's kind of amazing, Mr. Trump. You actually did really well. It was an easy. You seemed so comfortable up there, and you just kept kind of rolling. And Joe Biden did not look good tonight. I got to be honest with you.
Well, Joe, it was an easy victory, obviously.
Right.
Because look at how incognitive and incoherent Sleepy Joe was on the stage. It kind of sounded like D. Wells up there, quite frankly. He just kept stuttering and stuttering like he had a dick in his mouth.
He did.
And it was crazy.
He did kind of sound like D. Welsh a little bit. I will say that. You're not wrong. It was.
Well, yes, it's obviously gonna be an easy victory for me, Joe. Out of all the Joes here, you're the best Joe that I knew. Quite frankly, you're the best Joe that I know. Better than Sleepy Joe, and that's an obvious fact.
That's right. I'm not sleepy at all. I still got. I'm turning 40 Friday, but that's 40 years. This guy's 40-something years older than me. I got a lot of years left in me, but you did really well. And quite honestly, do you think this was a ploy to make Joe Biden look so bad that they could justify running somebody else, and this is the beginning of a new plot or plan against you in some way?
Well, I'll let you know on a little secret, Joe. All these deep state Democrats, democrats, whatever you want to call them,
Demonic.
they're plotting against me. Yeah, they're plotting. It's like Halloween. They're plotting against me, Joe. They're going to take me down. They're trying to do everything in their power, the pathetic little hands, the pathetic little claws to take me down. But quite frankly, they won't do so. I have an army of fine American United States citizens to back me up. The whole people of this country, they love me, Joe. They don't hate me, they love me. So all these Democrats could try everything they want to replace Sleepy Joe with gay Gavin Newsom or crooked Hillary. It doesn't matter who it is. They're not going to beat me because obviously I'm Papi Trump.
Well,
and everyone loves me.
Let's be honest, Mr. Trump. I want to be fair. I'm starting to love you. I had some problems with you back in the day, but I'm starting to really kind of love you and come around. But there is one major question they didn't ask you tonight, and I was hoping they would ask you because I really think that just get it out of the way and get that question answered for everybody. And they did not ask you that question, and so therefore I will do it right now. Unbelievably, I will do it right now because they couldn't do it because CNN's terrible. So, Mr. Trump, I'm going to ask you the question that people
go for it, Joe.
Absolutely, people really wanted this answered, and here it is. There's a crazy person on the top of the Prudential Towers, and he has a white baby and a black baby, and he's going to throw one of them off, but you can only save one. Which one of those babies do you save, Donald J. Trump?
Well, I got a plan ahead of this, Joe. It's obviously not going to be me. There's going to be me and my supporters. I'll just have my supporters save the black baby, and I'll save the white baby.
Wow.
Win-win for everyone.
Everybody wins. Okay. I love it. But you would save the white baby.
Well, of course, Joe. He was born in the United States, so...
Oh, you're saying the black baby was not?
He could have came from Guadalajara or whatever that place is called.
Oh, my God.
Whatever it is.
That's unbelievable. A good thing, well, this is going to get out there, Donald.
They could try to slander me all they want. You seen Sleepy Joe on the stage earlier. He was saying lies about saying that I called these military, our soldiers, many different things like bums and not criminals, losers.
Suckers.
I did not call them. It was from that, it was that third-rate magazine, Sleepy Joe and his fake news friends keep throwing out there to slander me, okay? They're going to try to slander me all they want, but it's all fake news, and you know it, Joe.
Well, my wife is a Democrat still. Would you call my wife a demon-crat to her face? My poor wife.
Well, if she accuses me of fake stuff, spewing out lies and says I'm fake, like Tommy, then yes, I would say it straight to her face. No disrespect to you, Joe. I love you, Joe. You're an amazing podcaster, whatever you are, radio host. But if your wife just straight up calls me a cuck or any of these names that I slept with a porn star and all these things, then it's game on, okay?
I did register as an independent. I did switch and register independence. First time I've ever done that. So. But I think that puts me on some kind of list now, though. I'm not sure. But, you did really good.
Come join the red side, Joe.
Well, I've got you, Trump. I've got you winning tonight, this debate, 12-4. You really beat up Biden tonight. And everybody agrees. I mean, everybody. All the independents watching, for the most part, mostly agree. All the Republicans watching agree mostly. And I think all the Democrats watching mostly agree as well. So do you think you're going to be facing Gavin Newsom or somebody else? Are you worried that this actually, because it really felt like a layup or a slam dunk that you were going to become president again, but now it feels like the Democrats are pivoting and they're going to elect somebody else, or they're going to run somebody else, and who knows what that means. I mean, are you concerned about that at all? Because that feels the way the wind is blowing right now.
Quite frankly, Joe, I'm not concerned whatsoever. Even if they throw in gay Gavin Newsom, look at California. There's poop on the floor in San Francisco. They clean it up when the Chinese president comes up. What are they going to do? Are they going to throw poop in my face? They can try all they want, but they're not going to do that, okay? But the thing is, if the Democrats were smart, they would induct Robert F. Kennedy to be their candidate, but they're so stupid. They push out Bernie Sanders, and now they push away Robert F. Kennedy. So they stand no chance against me. It's an easy win for me, just like how the Patriots won back in the day.
I really have said for a long time that I think Gavin Newsom will probably become a president at some point because he's so slick and so good. Problem is, he's terrible. Everything he's done in California, it's just terrible. But I don't think people seem to care about that because Kamala Harris was a terrible, horrible person, and she's the vice president. So I don't understand. Kamala Harris really terrible. She sucks and she's stupid and she's terrible. But she's the vice president. So, and Joe Biden poops his pants, and he's the president. And George Bush was reelected twice. I have no confidence in this country at this point. I am just very concerned. But I still think you can win. So, we'll see. We'll see, and we'll see by how much, and we'll see what the next move is. But, man, I'll tell you what, all they're talking about everywhere is that Joe Biden is fucking screwed. Don, listen to this.
The total initiative relative to what we're going to do with more border patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either. Look, we had the safest border in the history of our country. The border, all he had to do was leave it. All he had to do was leave it.
Oh, man, there's so many questions. Who had the biggest blunder so far? Well, I think they would probably go to,
You can run the best campaign. You can even become the nominee. And you can have the election stolen from you.
24 minutes of Democrats denying the election results. They keep asking Donald Trump if he'll accept the election results. Why didn't they ask Joe Biden that? Because they don't. Nobody accepts. Nobody is going to accept election results. Apparently.
Exactly, it's a double standard.
Russian interference, though.
That's the real
what I'm
thing.
scared about in 2020.
But rightly.
Because I think he's an illegitimate president that didn't really win. So how do you fight against that in 2020?
You are absolutely right.
He's an illegitimate president in my mind.
Would you be my vice presidential candidate? Folks, look, I absolutely agree.
Trump didn't actually win the election in 2016. He lost the election, and he was put into office because the Russians interfered.
Russia interfered with our election, attacked our democracy for the sole purpose of artificially placing someone at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. They were successful.
Trump knows he's an illegitimate president.
The president-elect, although legally elected, is not legitimate.
I don't see this president-elect as a legitimate president.
You said you believe that Russia's interference altered the outcome of the election.
I do. We have a president who, if in fact it is proven, has been assisted by the Russians and may in fact not be a legitimate president.
The one thing that Trump is fearful of when it comes to his being president is that finally we will see how illegitimate his victory actually was.
I have an objection.
I object to the 15 votes from the state of North Carolina. I object because people are horrified.
He's an illegitimate president.
Our election was hijacked. There is no question. Congress has a duty to hashtag protect our democracy and hashtag follow the facts.
John Lewis is completely right. There is a cloud of illegitimacy around the election of Donald Trump. The Russians interfered with his election. James Comey and the FBI interfered with his election. The fake news industry interfered with his election.
That goes on for like 30 minutes. I mean, that's crazy. Shit bomb.
I would rather the Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro run for president than Biden.
I don't know anything really about him, so I don't. Adam Casper, I couldn't say. Josh Shapiro, I'll look him up. I don't know that much about him. I'll look him up. But I'm sure. But the fact that I don't know about him, I think, is better than Gavin Newsom, because I know about Gavin Newsom because of how terrible his state is. So Adam, I guess I would agree with you that guy probably is better, and I'd have to look him up and see, but for sure, because yeah, I mean, nobody is as bad as Gavin Newsom, but Gavin Newsom is full of charisma and looks presidential and sounds presidential and is a good-looking dude.
He looks like a vampire.
Well, he looks like Tom Cruise.
Hey, Bullfrog is a moron.
Twinkle teaches. Hello, Twinkle.
I'm voting for Biden because I put myself into debt going to college and I shouldn't have to pay for it. The government should. You Republicans only care about the economy and religion but don't care about my right to education and my body.
Twinkle teaches, thank you for the $3. I would argue that I care about education, women's bodies, also babies, and
Super chat party.
And I don't really care about religion.
It's better to have everything break loose like Stone Cold Steve Austin and destroy the entire system.
Well, I think you're seeing that. I feel prayish. I mean, I honestly believe we're kind of seeing that. I mean, I don't know if that's true, but I feel like we're getting as close to that as possible, to be honest. And so you're kind of getting to see that, to me. Guys, don't forget that I will be live tomorrow night. I mean, I could be doing other things, but God, look, I'm just live every night. I should just be doing other things, but I'm sure I'll be live tomorrow night at some point for my birthday stream. I'll just be hanging out on my birthday, I guess. But no, Twinkle teaches. I mean, listen, I don't know. I think I agree with you on some of that, but I don't think that all Republicans and a lot of people that are voting for Trump are these religious, crazy people. Like, that's not really the thing anymore, These are people that they're seeing what's really going on and they don't want to vote for Biden. That's what it is.
Exactly.
But you're
you asshole.
What's up, fuckface? But listen, your college education, when am I going to get my refunds? I already paid $40,000 for my fucking school. When am I going to get my refunds from school, for Christ's sake? What up, Welsh?
Trying to make me sound like Biden, huh?
Well, I'm not. That's what
you do sound like him. You do sound like him. You sound like you got a hot dog in your mouth. Take it out. Come on.
Go kill yourself.
We could start it off by killing you first because you're one of those Democrats that voted for Sleepy Joe, correct?
Hey, I had Trump winning tonight on the scorecard, all right?
That is true. I give you an ounce of respect for that. As long as you vote for me, then I'll change my opinion on you.
Listen, I think a lot of people don't like Trump, but they got him winning tonight because just what are you going to do? You got to know when to, This is one of those things where you're hoping for 50-50 or 60-40 or something, and even if if you're a Biden person, you're going to just say Biden won anyway because they're so close. But this was unfortunately for, any Democrats who, don't really don't want to vote for Trump or don't like Trump at all.
Hey, Bullfrog is a moron.
You just can't hide from this result. Like, this is bad.
What is the origin of "Oh my God, brother" and "Bullfrog is a moron"?
Thank you, Doomed, huh? I really appreciate that. It was something we said months ago. It was a while back, and it just became a thing, man. All of a sudden, "Oh my God, brother." Doomed, huh? Thank you, bro. Oh my God, brother. I really appreciate it.
Want me to do it for you, Joe? I'll go ahead and give you one.
Oh yeah.
My goodness.
Oh my God, brother.
Yeah, give me one of those.
I'll say it for you. Give me 1 second. Oh my God, brother.
Oh my God, brother.
I love it. Oh my God, brother. There it is. Oh my God, brother. Oh my God, brother.
Wonderful.
Oh my God, brother. Listen, brother. Yeah, it was a beatdown tonight, and I think they possibly have planned this whole thing. No doubt about it. Got to put some tinfoil hat on, but I think they are planning on replacing Biden.
That I am hearing.
By the way, Joe Biden was tweeting during the debate on his Twitter account, which doesn't seem possible, but,
From Democrats is not like anything that I have heard in this campaign so far. And a lot of it has to do with, first of all, there was a deep frustration about Trump's lies. I mean, he lied a lot tonight. But the problem for Biden was that
name some of them.
Trump was able to take sometimes incredible falsehoods and turn them into some kind of argument, whereas Biden's answers were, in a lot of cases, not coherent, deeply problematic, that he was not able to take pretty straightforward answers and answer them to the American public, and then also at some points bringing things up that teed up Trump attacks. So there's a real concern here tonight that there's been some real damage done that cannot be undone.
No.
Biden solidified the perception among voters, but especially among his base. They were hoping that tonight would be a game changer. They are now seeing a president who is in the White House, who they do not necessarily believe can do this for another 4 years.
That's really what it is. Like, you can say whatever you want about whatever he's doing now and a little bit before, but good Lord, that's not a person that can do this 4 more years. Like, he can't even, I just can't believe it, man.
Very aggressive panic in the Democratic Party. It started minutes into the debate, and it continues right now. It involves party strategists. It involves elected officials.
Jesus.
Debate with Obama world people, with Democrats, with people who are political operatives, with campaign operatives. My phone really never stopped buzzing throughout. And the universal reaction was somewhere approaching panic. The people who were texting with me were very concerned about President Biden seeming extremely feeble, seeming extremely weak. I, too, was on the phone throughout much of the debate.
Yeah, they're trying to get rid of him. They would never admit this stuff or talk about this stuff unless it wasn't planned. This is all planned.
Deep state.
Yep.
We significantly increased the number of asylum officers. Significantly. By the way, the Border Patrol endorsed me.
Joe Biden said tonight on, by the way, they talked about Trump's lies, but Joe Biden lied about many things, like Charlottesville, very fine people. We know that's a lie. He said that about Trump. He also brought up January 6th stuff that was a lie, and multiple other things that Trump didn't say, Mr. Trump, that you didn't say. And this was one of them, too, by the way. The Border Patrol supports Biden. That's what Biden said.
Border Patrol endorsed me, endorsed my position. In addition to that, we found ourselves...
Well, they just tweeted out, to be clear, we have never, ever, nor will ever endorse Biden. So he said that they endorse him, and then they tweeted out that they did not endorse him ever, and they won't. So another lie by Biden, even though CNN want to talk about, like, lies. There's more lies by Biden tonight, in my opinion. That's the other problem. And then this guy, Jamal Brown, lost the other day, didn't get reelected, and then had a little hissy fit on stage and acted like a fucking retard baby. And he's also the guy that pulled the fire alarm and should have gone to jail for it, but didn't. Jamal Brown, or whatever his name is, I don't know, he's a piece of shit scumbag, and he won't be back, so go get a real job, you fucking idiot. So that guy's a scumbag, and he's gone. So, what a week, I guess. What a week. But, Charo, what do you got to say, man? Because your mic sounds like shit.
What?
Your mic sounds like shit. What do you have to say?
I haven't even talked. You make sound like shit.
All right, I'm going to mute you now because of that, you fucking idiot. Mr. Trump, thank you so much for the insight tonight and being here on this show. I'm sorry that you couldn't talk. Charo wanted to ask you a question, but, he couldn't even, formulate a possible response to what I asked him, which is his mic sounded like shit. Your mic sounded great tonight. They even unmuted you so you could fight with Biden a couple times. Were you surprised at how CNN, did give you some chances to sort of have a fight with Biden on stage? I mean, there was even one point you guys fought about golf. I want to see that swing.
Well, quite frankly, I was quite surprised, to be honest. It's like they're changing their whole agenda against me. They're like, why do we want to be stuck with an old senile crook when they could have the golden glory of your former president, me? Everyone loves me, Joe. Even the Democrats are starting to love me. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, I think
it's an easy win for me.
I think that one thing is a lot of what you said you were going to do got done, and when you were doing things, people know it was prosperous. And they understand that the last year of your presidency was weird because of the pandemic. And I think they're seeing what Joe Biden is doing now, and they've known now what he will do. And so people that were skeptical are starting to not buy the bullshit anymore. So, I mean, it's obvious. I mean, if I can be somebody who was a Democrat and I can be more on your side than Biden's, it just tells you that, listen, you can try to cling to your tribalistic party of Democrat or Republican all you want, but in the end, you got to pick the lesser of two evils. And right now, we're choosing the lesser of the two nursing homes at this point between you and Biden. I would like to see you guys get out on the golf course, and I'd like to see Biden and you drive that golf ball and see who hits it farther.
He won't be able to do nothing, Joe. He's probably going to get off the golf cart and just trip and fall over. He won't be able to compete against me.
Right. I agree. Well, Mr. President, thank you for being here tonight. And
of course, Joe. Have a good night. I had to rush off the debate stage because I had to call in and tell all of you wonderful people about this humiliating, dominating performance I gave to Sleepy Joe. I gave him an ass whooping, okay?
Absolutely. No, you did, and I appreciate you running off to get here so quickly because you did, man. You got here perfect timing. It was great. And, Biden just kind of sucked up to the moderators after that. But I appreciate you being here, giving us that time, and I will see you tomorrow. Maybe for my birthday, you can call in and wish me a happy 40th birthday. That'd be amazing tomorrow night. Maybe.
What would be amazing if what if Sleepy Joe calls him himself? Maybe he could get the number to here. I don't know. Maybe he could figure it out. Okay.
Yeah, maybe we could keep the debate going here on my channel. That'd be really cool. I would love to have it.
We shall see, Joe. Have a good night.
Good night, Mr. Former President, could be future President Donald J. Trump stopping by to talk to us. That was fudging amazing. Hey, listen, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the debate. I think we're in some trouble in this country. I think there's no doubt about it that we're in some trouble in this country. I wish I could run. I mean, I could, but I would like to run for you guys. Imagine me running. I want to run for, it's at the point where I want to run for president. I would never, ever have said that or thought that, but I'm like, dude, I want to run. Jesus, we need help. We need people to run for president that, but Vivek Ramaswamy is interesting too, but he's so, it's almost like he's not real. He's so fucking crazy. I don't know, man. We need a Democrat that can be good too. We don't have a Democrat. I wonder if I could run as a Democrat. maybe I could run as a Dem. Holy Christ, bro. I'll run, guys. Oh my God, bro. What do we see tonight? Trump destroyed Biden tonight. That was worse for Biden than I thought it was going to be bad, but I thought maybe that Biden would come out like he did during the inauguration, or during the not the inauguration, when Joe Biden came out during the State of the Union. Joe Biden came out on drugs during the State of the Union. He was like, "Oh my God!" He sounded like he was ready to fight or something. And so he pulled that off. It was like, damn, where's this Joe Biden been? He's always asleep, but tonight he was awake and he was flipping out, and it was like, okay. And you're like, is that who we're gonna get tonight? Is he gonna pull that rabbit out of the hat again, where it's like, oh, he seems like he's really cognitive tonight in front of the whole world, but all these other times he somehow looks like shit. But no, he came out like shit tonight. So it's didn't know what we were gonna get. That's what you got. That's what you got. Unbelievable. Gaza, what's up, man? I ain't even from the U.S. I'd vote for him. I wish I could do it because I don't know, man. I want everybody to be okay again. I want people to come to this country legally and join us for sure. But I also want to get all the criminals and more than anything, the child molesters and child abductors. You're done. You are done. We're chopping your fucking cocks off if I'm president. You will not molest children in this country and then be let out on $500 bail a couple of weeks later. If I'm the president, you're not molesting kids in my country. All right? Especially if we proved it for sure. Right? We know for sure you molested a kid. I mean, you really molested a kid. We're not talking about, you took a piss in the park and some kid happened to catch it. That's weird and whatever, and yeah, you'll be in trouble. But we're talking about if you violently penetrated a child, you are fucking violently going to be killed. If I'm the president. And if you kill somebody, we're going to kill you. If we can 100% prove it with video and witnesses that you killed people, we're killing you. And if you steal someone's car, you're going to go to jail for a little bit. And if you steal people's property in an organized crime fashion, in a destructive way, you're going to be in trouble in my America. There's not going to be no bail and bond and bullshit like that, and we'll just let them out anyway and see what happens. Oh, no. Especially if you do it 2 or 3 times. 2 or 3 times, we'll see you later. Do you know how many times I've been in trouble? Like, how many times I've ever done anything to anybody? 0. And I'm a fucking retarded person. 0 times. Unbelievable. Yeah, please click the like button. Ashley Taylor, thanks, Joe, for helping children and everyone. Am I helping children, really? I don't know if I'm helping children. I am doing the St. Jude thing for my birthday, so if anybody wants to vote on that. I was only trying to raise $200, and we're at 72, so that's cool. Hey, my mother donated. That's who donated. I did one of those birthday things. I'll use some of the donation money I got tonight, and I'll donate to it for you guys. I just wanted to raise a couple $100 for the St. Jude's thing. So, there it is. Yeah, so you know what? I'll take some of the donos you guys gave tonight, and we'll put it in there for my birthday thing. Looks like a couple other people might have donated on my Facebook as well. So, and I don't do Facebook with my show. I keep it private, so can't really share it. But I can use some of those donos. So thank you guys who donated tonight. I'll put some of the money towards that St. Jude thing. Oh my God, bro. What? Oh my God, bro. This poor guy, put him in a fucking home and take care of him. Ugh. All right, everybody. Thanks for being here. Hey, how'd that work out for you, Mark Hamill, Mr. Star Wars? Mark Hamill from Star Wars, Luke Skywalker, said, keeping my expectations low for this debate, considering the highlight last time was, will you shut up, man? Nerdrotic posted below that, you're awfully quite quit tonight. Quiet. I get it. You're awfully quiet tonight. But he did kind of quit, though, too, yeah. Yikes. By the way, the illegal alien who gunned down a couple New York cops said it's in his culture to kill cops.
According to audio recordings read by prosecutors, Mata claims he was recruited to join the gang to commit robberies. But the most shocking claim, the gang has been smuggling guns into city-run shelters.
Tren de Aragua members were smuggling firearms into city shelters inside food delivery packages. That way they'll have to go through the metal detector.
The NYPD is on to this gang.
We've never seen anything really like it. They're so dangerous.
Police say within the past year, there's been an increase of over 300% in robberies and grand larcenies.
Good job, Biden. So all the gangs that are coming in from the border are smuggling in guns to the places that are taking them in, because we should do that because we love them so much. This country is retarded right now. And until your little children are killed and knifed and gunned down and your neighborhoods are in a shithole, maybe you won't pay attention until you start really seeing it. But, yeah. It's coming to a place near you. And in Massachusetts, the illegal alien child rapist accused of child rape is bailed out ahead of an ICE detainer. So ICE can't get a hold of him because he was bailed out and ICE doesn't know where he is. But he allegedly rapes little kids. So good job. I've got about 1,000 examples of these people who are raping, molesting, killing, smuggling, moving drugs, working with cartels, organized foreign crime, exploding into this country like you've never seen before, and everybody wants to still vote for Biden. And I'm sorry, but I have left the Democratic Party because I don't want little kids raped and killed. And I don't want people I love killed and raped. And I don't want this country to continue to devolve into a shithole. So that's why I can explain to you why this poll tonight is what it is. Because everyone is sick of that same thing that I just mentioned. Hispanic Americans, Latino Americans, Black Americans, mixed race Americans, white Americans, Asian Americans of multiple descents, Japanese, Chinese Americans, wherever you're from originally, whatever your background is, we're all humans and we're all Americans. And that's what America is, a melting pot. But it's a melting pot of good people who have good values, not a melting pot of bring your worst. It's supposed to be bring your tired, you're hungry, you're poor, bring your hardworking. Don't bring your rapists and your criminals and your mentally ill. That's not what it's supposed to say. It's not supposed to say bring the terrorists, the mentally ill, and the people that are avoiding jail in their own country for killing kids so they can come to our country, and your drug smugglers. That's not what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be bring us people that, bring people that are broken. Bring people that don't know what to do. Bring people that feel like they need an opportunity. Bring those people. And we also need to fix making that possible for some people. Don't get me wrong. We need to make it easier for the people who legitimately want to come to the country to get into the country. Right now, there is no easy. You can just do it. But we need to make it easier for legitimate people to come to this country who want to come to this country. We need to make it easier. Because until you make it reasonably easy, all these people are just going to pour across. If it was actually a little bit more reasonably easy for honest people who want to come become an American, if we made it reasonably easy for them, then yes, you would see more people trying to get in that way. But then you could completely cut off all the illegal stuff. Like, you will not come here illegally. We will kill you. We will, don't do that. But if you come here legally, there's an easy way to get in. But if you just run across the water, you're going to be in trouble, right? And that would allow us to separate the more of the criminals and the terrorists and the drug cartel stuff and all that stuff. It would allow us to sort through that much easier if we allowed people to get in here easier, but didn't allow people to just flood in. You know what I'm saying? Like, it would just be much easier to solve this if all that was done. But I don't know, man. Yeah. Rye bust. I mean, and by the way, we got more white people on crack and crazy than ever before, by the way, also. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, I don't think white people have white people ever been this poor since, like, the Great Depression? You know, you got some crazy-ass white people out there. Have you seen white people like this before? You haven't. I don't think you have. Not since, like, the fucking 70s or something. Like, have you seen, like, like, dude, you know how something's wrong with the country when you start seeing white people roaming the streets like, you seen these people? Dude, you know there's something wrong with the country when you got a black guy walking down the street filming a white guy, and the black guy's like, damn, dude, what's going on with you? Are you okay? What's up? And the white guy's like, dude, that's scaring the shit out of the black people in this country. They're like, holy shit, dude, we fucked. There's white people roaming the streets like fucking crackhead zombies. Holy shit. Something's wrong. like these fucking people are doing this. What's going to happen to the rest of us? But anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow night. I'll be live streaming a little bit just to do a little birthday stream, hang out with you guys, put my face in a birthday cake or something. I don't know. I love you all. No matter what you think, I'll always support you guys. I mean, for the most part, unless you're like fucking a Nazi or something. But like, you know, I'm down to hear what you guys have to say. We all stay open-minded. We're all Democrats, Republicans, Independents, any of those things. Don't give a shitters. Whatever from another country. Don't care about American politics. We're all everything in this chat and here, and so we're all just giving our opinions, and I'm wrong a lot of times, and you can correct me if I am, and you can change my mind. It's been done before plenty of times. But tonight, you can't change my mind about the fact that I think Trump beat Biden pretty clearly in this debate. And really, a lot of America, we're all kind of losers right now for, you know, with the guy we got in office right now, it seems like it's really bad. I got him 12-4, but that's my score, and I'm sticking to it. I'll see you guys tomorrow for a little fun little birthday stream. And I love you all. Thank you so much for being here. See you tomorrow. Oh boy, let's end this thing with Weekend at Biden's, because that's what we just saw, basically. Thanks for the donations, guys. Patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show. PayPal.me/Joe Cronin Show for the weirdos. I got a guy who's apparently he's rich and he wants to give me a birthday present. Well, doesn't want to do it on air. PayPal.me/Joe Cronin Show, man. If you really want to do that, you don't have to do that at all, but I don't know. See, I don't know what you're sending me, but thank you. PayPal.me/Joe Cronin Show. Thank you.
He might be creeping, 'cause that's my weekend. He's wearing the pants, forgetting his pen, forgetting his friends. This is how it ends. Will he still pretend? Biden can defend. He might be sleeping, he might be creeping, 'cause that's my weekend.
Clear. I'm not going nuts. I'm not sure there was a medical.
It's a weekend at Biden's. A weekend at Biden's. Oh, a weekend of lying. A weekend of hiding. Oh, he might be sleeping. He might be creeping. 'Cause that's my weekend. He's wearing the pants, forgetting his pen, forgetting his friends.
President, my boss.
This is how it ends. Will he still pretend? Oh, he